And hello and welcome. Yes, we're finally here. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. Yay! What is Drakenmemoria, you may ask? Well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. More specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, we're going to be a full group. Fisher's just running a little late. He's not having problem with the cameras. I'm the one that had with the problem with the cameras. He's just running late. Because he was helping people, you know. That's just how heartless he is. Helping others while not helping us. It's, you know. so, what was I saying?
He should get his priorities straight.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons before saving people. Come on. Get your shit together.
I have to take your shit.
So, what was I saying? Yes, Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, the internet is a very varied and diverse place where you can have a lot of everything you need or want. Well, no, not exactly, but close enough. But if you want to watch Dungeons & Dragons, watch a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons, well, stay with us. That's what it's eventually going to be. If you like the Thunderstorm in the background, that's Ambient Mixer. If you like the world map, it's WonderDraft. If you like the dungeon map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. And if you like the town map, it's... Oh, I could have made... Oh... Well, too late. If you like the town map, it's Canvas of Kings. I was going to say, I could have made the map of Tolteron. Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. I just thought about creating the environment in which you might be evolving today. Alright. Okay, we got a message. What is it? We're good. Okay, good. Now we're only missing one player. Alright, so... What happened last episode? The party kept on planning for the future. Spells are being researched, weapons are being made, and old quests not yet handed in. Okay, anyway. Were collected. While all of this is happening, however, time keeps moving forward, and the night had much to tell our heroes. More than one important moment in their world history hinges on their presence in specific places and time. Not as the hero meant to be seen and worshipped, but as the unavoidable support those meant to be seen need in order to become the future of this world. Yeah, and fittingly enough, the title of last episode was The Weight of the World. Alright. Oh, we don't need a fun song in the background. Alright. So, I believe today you have a day of waiting because you're waiting on Audience's sword.
No, that was next. That was next day. We were on the day of my sword. That's why you're waiting till the evening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's what you were waiting for that very day. So you woke up. Fisher went to study spells. Jorg wanted to see how you can make those little crystal balls, and he looked at Ovenak all day long. And Remy sponsored a feast and was busy all day long slaving in the kitchen. So I've thought about it for you, Remy, because I know that being a Kenku, some proficiencies should be easier to learn than others, but it's still not a free pass to just, hey, I learned something new. So I tried to think about exactly what you could have learned during this, because it's only one day. So exactly. Remy would probably have been able to learn, first thing, a lot of different recipe names. So from here on out, if you find yourself in front of a dish or someone mentions a dish, you can roll to see if it's actually a thing. Because you probably learned that there were a lot of weird names. For example, and that's actually a true example, since you told me that one of your personal acquaintance in for Remy has a French accent, I took the liberty of going to French pastries. So, a pastry named trottoir. Well, if you say this to a woman, you're gonna get slapped. But if you say this in the context of a dessert, you're gonna get a flaky dessert. Which is true, and for those wondering, if you say to a woman that she's a trottoir, well, in English, word for word, it would probably be the same thing as saying to a woman she's a doormat. So but the same word, when referring to pastries, actually mean a flaky pastry. A specific one, not all flaky pastries.
Or maybe it's exactly what you thought. It's like she's very flaky, but she's delicious, and that's all that matters.
Well, yeah, the pastry needs to be cooked, so it's a lovely golden color on top of it. So it's a flaky blonde. Oh, jeez, I feel like I'm opening a really bad can of worms here. So you would have learned the name of a huge variety of dishes. Things that you didn't know existed, things that you thought were impossible, but yet they exist, and because you sponsored a feast which had no theme, things got ordered from all around the world, and some of them probably made Remy giggle when he heard the name of a certain thing. For example, there's a dish in the southern part of the world that's very popular with the tieflings, but the literal common translation for the word-for-word translation in common would be blue balls. So that's why most people just say it in tiefling language. But nevertheless, those names exist, and there's a lot of them. You would also have learned some basic elements of cooking. For example, salt and fat are very good to intensify taste. Fat absorbs odor very easily, so it's easy to scent any kind of fat, though. So cream, milk, butter. If you just add something inside of it, herbs, things like this, zests, you can easily give a scent to whether that cream is that's going to be very interesting. Refined sugar is rare. It exists in this world. It's just a product that mostly only nobles and wealthy merchants can afford. So most people take honey, or maple syrup, because it exists in our world. However, it's the forgot the name of my own race. The same race as Sarn, who are rather good at making it, because they're rather good at transforming any natural product into something. You would also have learned that while most people prefer eating their meal hot, there are actually meals which taste better cold, even though most people would rather have them hot. Um, some type of soups, things like this. You would also have learned, although you would not have seen how it's made because it takes hours to prepare, but cold infusions for teas and things like this. Surprisingly, it's possible. You just need something that has very strong taste and a lot of it, and you just let it infuse in cold water for 8 hours, 12 hours. Speaking of teas, you've learned that to prepare herbal spice, it's actually not just a question of putting it on the table or letting it dry. If you don't let it dry properly, it's just gonna burn out and it's not gonna have a pleasant taste at all. You've learned that flaky pastries are a bit more common in the southern region of the world. That people really like complementary taste, salty, sugary. And for some reason, even though you had given the possibility of feast, you know that there's at least one gnome inside of the garden who really, really, really likes peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, you made a ton of them, all in the same hour.
I can imagine that bell now. Ding! Another PBJ!
Just one? Oh, yes, sorry, I misread. 100. And of course,
please lay out the bread.
That one you learned by heart. It's even started seeping into your muscle memory. You know, you hear the word and immediately you have the reflex of trying to reach out for a piece of bread. Well, I'm sure some people take it with butter, but anyway.
Yeah, just a butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh, jeez. I'm not a really good fan of butter on toast, so...
Ed would be disappointed.
Oh, I know. But I just don't like it all that much. I prefer other things than butter. With one exception. I do like butter on raisin bread. But it's the only one that I
raisin bread specifically.
Yeah, it's the only one that I like it. And you've also learned that some people have really, 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 really weird tastes. Foods that you've never thought in your entire life could go together. And as you were cooking them, in your mind it was confirmed. Oh, good, all the cameras have been weird.
And then Raimi just giggles a little bit when somebody orders blue balls with loaded sausage.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, okay, you do you, bud.
So yeah, some people have extremely weird taste. What was I saying? Oh yeah, weird taste. I got distracted by the fact that Fisher is there. Can you say something? Because right now we don't have your camera, so I just want to know if...
Testing.
Okay, good.
Why don't you have my camera? What's going on?
Come
on. Oh, that would be why. Hold on.
Look who I got.
Oh! Well, that's the wrong pet. You're supposed to have a dog.
I know.
Baby.
Ew.
We turn around and magically he's turned into a cat companion.
Oh, is there a way to remove your nameplates? There, I can also see them here.
Oh my god, I just thought of an upgrade for my pet. What if I could use wild shape through Frel?
I was like, why don't you have my camera? And then I looked up and I didn't see my camera, and I was like, wait, where'd it go?
Okay, hold on. I didn't notice last time. Did you also have the Discord nameplate on your characters? Is there a way to turn them off?
I don't
take
think
this
so.
little baby
I think
downstairs
that's
real quick.
yeah. That wasn't there last week.
No, it wasn't.
Could be new, question mark?
Could be new. Yeah.
Look, I'm sometimes surprised by all the number of things that change in a week since I use a program. And it's just like, okay, let's roll with it, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think we're gonna have to. Oh, they're gone. They're back. They're gone. Okay.
Maybe they show up when somebody new comes in.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So we all know who's there. Okay, maybe. Could be right. All right. So, yeah, as I was saying, you've learned a lot of weird combinations, like I said, and right now you have the ability to know what is actually a thing. Few cooking principle and things like that. So for now, that's about it. You did learn a few recipes, especially those who would have been asked a lot. Your nature would have you be able to remember how they're made, but not necessarily roll to see how well you make them, because you'd only be able to copy yourself, and if you didn't do it right, well, you're copying yourself not doing it right. So but that you do know a few recipes. So I think that's a decent piece of information for doing this for an entire day. Yeah, because it's mainly theoretical knowledge. You don't actually have the type of knowledge, for example, to know when a piece of meat is properly cooked, and this piece of meat is going to react like this and like this and like this. So you wouldn't be able to roll for that yet. In the aspect of what you wanted to do this for, I think it would probably narrow down a little bit what you thought it could be. Definitely, you said you wanted to try and see if there were flaky pastries, specifically because the object said, hold on, let me read it. No, that's not where it's written. It's written.
Like, at the very least, it was, if it wasn't a pastry, it was some kind of baked good that was flaky, probably meant to be served warm if possible. And
No, that's...
and it seems like there was a bit of bitterness to it as well.
Here it is. I think it's this one. When it's touched aside, you feel something flaky. Only when you lick your finger do you taste something bitter. But if you lick the side of the cube, it tastes sweet. If you run water on it, it will drip warm. So yeah, something warm. But with what you've learned, flaky could possibly be a pastry, but you've also been exposed to several ingredients which are flaky, many of them being aromatic herbs, especially those that have large leaves. if they are dried properly. Some of them can become very flaky. An example of that is when you put, I think it's a bay leaf, in when you're trying to cook for, I don't know, tomato sauce or something like this. Before you put it in, it will be very flaky and you will be able to crush it, but after a while it's gonna become mushy again. So it could be talking about a something that has herbs in it, and a taste profile, meaning that it has more than one taste. Example, when you, I don't know, you decide to eat a cookie and first you get a strong taste of cinnamon, and then after that you feel a little trace of vanilla. So it could be something that has several elements of taste which are not necessarily obvious all at the same time. It could also be something like this. Could be simple, could be complex. If there's one thing you've learned working in that kitchen, is that things that seems incredibly simple can be very complex, and things that should be very complex are extremely simple. Like fixing a sauce by adding a pinch of salt. Damn, that was easy. So that's your day. Mostly. When you finish, you got a feather hanging out one side. Your fingers, for some reason, keep smelling like lobster, but oddly enough, you didn't prepare any lobster or shellfish. Oh yeah, one thing that you've learned, most fish can be eaten raw. People, except for a few people, actually don't care much to eat fish raw. And shellfish can be eaten raw. They're just very gooey if you don't cook them.
And all Remy can think about now is like how much he's probably going to have to apologize to Tobiyashi for hosting a feast when he wasn't there. But on the bright side, that just means that his husband is going to be very good at cooking a variety of different dishes.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys had the kids talk yet?
Well, yeah, who's going to have them?
I mean,
he doesn't eat a lot.
yeah, I feel like throwing him a feast is kind of like trying for kids.
Oh.
You know, we're not gonna have a steamy night. We're just gonna have a messy night. Yeah. Well, it depends. If you want to serve
steamy.
him, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say. If you want to
Serve.
serve him something that's steamed, yeah, it's gonna be a steamy night. So that was your day. Full day. You feel like you need a really good 5 hours of grooming after that, because you know Kenku like to be. Usually they like to be well groomed.
Like, he'll probably take a bath if he has the energy to do so.
Well, you've
Like,
been...
he still has soap.
Oh yeah. Just remember, avoid blue dragons. So... For you, audience, this is, unless you tell me otherwise, one of those annoying days where you're just stuck waiting.
Yep.
But it's probably something new for you, because you've always had that physical and mental pressure to always be doing something. You still have the mental pressure, because you've been conditioned. And for a lot of Dragonborn, it's a question of survival to do so. But you don't feel the physical urge to. You don't feel that building up of pressure that you used to feel. So it's a bit of an odd new feeling. Is that what it is to be calm? I hate it!
Alright.
Is there anything that audience would like to do during that day?
No, I'm just waiting for my sword and to go on.
So you're just being there annoying in front of the blacksmith. Well, you see very interesting magical procedures because your weapon, there are elements of blacksmithing, but there are heavy elements of magic involved in it. And it's a material that you're not used to seeing. Sort of interesting. And the technique to reforge it, it's sort of a mishmash between glass blowing and blacksmithing. So can't help but to feel like not a lot of people have actually seen this, because it's not a kind of a sword that you've seen, a type of weapon that you've seen very often. You've actually only seen it in the past, so maybe they're still made. Maybe it's one of those things that get lost in time. For you, Fisher, well, you were studying spells. Did you decide what spells you would have studied during the day and how long? Because all of that take time.
Yes. Where did I? We had the past 2 days, correct?
In
That's
total, yes. This is the
Yes. Yeah.
the end of the second day.
Yeah, so I did non-detection
Okay.
and ascending and
Okay.
would like to have finished Phantom Steed.
Well, that really depends on audience and how tired you want to be.
They're each 6 hours, so 8 hours across 2 days is 16. So I should have 12 for 2 spells, and then another 4, I believe, lets me finish out what I had started for Phantom Steed.
Yes, but that also means that you are completely exhausted at the end of second day, and so will not be very. Will have a little bit of fatigue problem if you try and go in the city at night at the end of that day. So you'll have to talk. You'll have to talk to audience about maybe we should do this tomorrow, and convince him of that.
I mean, I'm gonna be in the library all day if he shows up at night and is like, "Hey, we're gonna start our quest now." That's
well, you know,
cool story, bro.
it's a conversation you'll have to have with him. So for you, Jorg, it's probably a weird process that you've been watching all day long. Because Onak is... And you've actually had to watch him do very high-level spells and crystallize them and essentially diamonds, but heavily altered. The diamond itself undergoes a very severe transformation, and it becomes very brittle, but also very receptive to the magic.
That sounds cool.
Well, I've never really heard of a malleable diamond.
No, it's not, but it's also magic. So it's sort of an odd process to look at, because essentially it's as if he was blowing a spell inside of a diamond, with the end result looking like a sphere instead of a diamond itself. But it's a very involved process, and very careful one. And you have seen him prepare spells. Oh, here you go. All right. He's preparing some of them. He's preparing for a higher level, and some of them he can actually do right now. So you've seen him crystallize a heal spell, and you think he is preparing to crystallize, most likely in D&D term, next level, regeneration spells. So he's really preparing for a massive fight where he's expecting everyone to be dismembered.
In fact, one spell specifically has audience's name on it.
So, come on. Okay.
Is there a specific moment he thinks we're gonna need this, or he just?
Do you ask him?
Yeah.
In case of audience, break crystal.
Well, it's how do you ask him exactly?
I see you're preparing a lot of healing and regeneration spells. Is there a specific time you expect to need them?
Well, if I expected that, it would make things a whole lot easier. If you travel
Okay.
with yourselves.
Good point. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, especially since some of you tend to blow yourselves up. So.
And the gnomes tend to blow us up too.
Well, that's usually because you're not careful.
Yeah. And we drink potions they give us, which is just a bad idea. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for preparing.
I mean, things just seems to be increasing in difficulty recently. I don't know if you were there during the last real fight that you had, but you were against someone who could bring audience down in a single
One hit.
flurry of blows.
Yeah. In like 6 seconds.
Actually, always 6 seconds. I don't know why. There must be something behind that number.
Some law of the universe that
Yeah. You know, you'd expect
deep
7.
physics thing.
6. You know, that's. I can understand 5 and 7, but 6?
And for some reason, in this world, like everything falls at a rate of 500 feet per 6 seconds. Weird.
How the physics works out.
Mm-hmm. No
And then they
acceleration.
stop.
They just go straight up to 500 feet per 6 seconds.
You
They
know,
don't do it continuously. They do it instantly and then stop, wait 6 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
then
when you're
instantly
falling,
drop
it just
another
go.
500.
It's almost like a yo-yo, except you don't go up.
Yeah. You just keep going down and down and down. So yeah, I'm expecting a lot of horrible things. I think that's why I'm here. 'Cause you don't have anyone to actually take care of yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just some slight shade org there for a moment. Just like,
Yeah.
there's just nobody in the party that can take care of you guys.
Nobody at all. Mm-hmm.
So you laugh with him after that awkward moment. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well.
Time to hit the old dusty trail.
gonna leave you your things. I think I'm gonna go take a drink in the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can find
Maybe
Sarn somewhere. So the day moves forward. And eventually, audience, your sword is completed. You are being handed the hilt, and blacksmith tells you, well, try it out.
Alright, I'll sway it around a bit.
Which weapon do you choose to
Just the longsword.
Longsword, alright. Comes out, it's beautiful. It seems to be even better made than before. The balance is slightly different, but you can get used to this. He managed to, adapt it more to you. So the balance is, the center of mass is a little bit more off, higher off the guard than it was before, but that allows you to take more advantage of your strength, and your sword feels like it has a little bit more mass when you hit something with it.
Nice.
Mm.
Alright, feels good. I appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for. Ugh. Now then, anything else?
You got to tip an extra 20%.
I mean, sure, I can tip an extra 20%. I paid 0. 20% on top of 0 is still 0.
Fair enough. Good math.
Alright, cool. Well, I got a quest to get to, so
Well, actually,
I'll see you later.
you didn't actually pay 0. You paid with a favor. So you owe him a fifth of a favor.
20% of a favor. I'll give your store a shout out.
Yeah.
Next time I kill someone, just before I kill him, I'm gonna say, that sword has been made by...
Shouting out people who are not going to be able to buy seems like not very helpful.
This is Commander Shepard, and I approve this store.
Yeah. Is this like one of those swords with like, it's got like the elven writing on the blade, but the writing just says created by.
Created by.
This
I mean, we
skill-
can't even argue that. We can't even argue that, like if they get revived later, they'll keep them in mind, because most of our major enemies have been either are or are related to druids. It's like so.
This skill was sponsored by. All right.
Alright. I'm gonna go, I guess, to the library, because that's where I know Fisher is.
All right. So, you make your way to the library. It takes a little bit of time because it's a pretty big place. But, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, you arrive in the library. Fisher is completing... He's about, I don't know, something like an hour and a half away from completing a spell that he seems to be very focused on when you're arriving.
I see him out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, I'm not done yet.
How long until you're done?
2 hours.
Alright, will you be ready to go in 2 hours?
Are you gonna? It's gonna be like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, we were trying to go at night, remember? Because I'm wanted in the city.
All right. You're the one that woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, so. Or wait, no, is this? You just woke up from a concussion.
Yeah.
Even
No,
worse,
this
you
is
need
the
to
day.
sleep.
This is the day. This is the day after
You
that.
should be recovering. Anyway, fine.
He's immune to diseases, which counts as a concussion. Or concussion.
I mean, I guess we could technically go tomorrow morning since Remy has disguise self. We could just disguise self to get through the city.
That's self-only target. You can't
What
cast
if-
it
what if-
on you.
What did they use? What do we use on the island? I don't
yeah.
know. Spells?
We did a thing with minor illusion, or no, not minor illusion.
Above table, it was a very highly coordinated use of either minor illusion or, in dire emergencies, silent image on top of
Yeah, whatever.
audience's body.
We could just do whatever we did at the Misty Isles.
All right, yeah.
We
I
could
don't
just
know.
do it tomorrow morning.
I want to see the silent image of a person putting up a cowl and just putting the silent image in front of it. But there's a problem. There's a glitch. So you just see all weird signs going in front of the cowl. Oh God, no!
Or I could just do the classic if I pull up a hood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fisher, from inside
Or
of
I
you,
turn
you
into a
hear,
kangaroo and put you in my pouch.
from inside of you hear, and why can't we go tomorrow night?
Because I don't want to wait that long.
You hear that?
Audience is bored, I guess.
That sound a classic him problem.
Yeah. You
Oh,
could also
man.
go buy a scroll of disguise self.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, that's right. That
Go get
one
some
Fisher
really
did
fancy
say, so you heard
prosthetics.
that one. Yeah.
I got
You're a
a
lot more
hood.
jacked than last time you were in there, probably. So
True.
Yeah, I was like much lower level.
Well, higher level would probably show more with confidence. You know, you just stroll in there feeling confident.
Well, I think
about yourself.
actively my strength went up because
Yeah.
of the ASI. So I'm
Yeah,
also
yeah.
more ripped.
So ripped that every time you use an athletic roll, you tear your shirt.
Yeah. All right, cool. We'll go tomorrow morning. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, sounds good.
I'll meet you at the teleporter
Sounds good.
at 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Where did you go after that?
I go to bed.
Directly to go to bed.
On an early
He's
night.
concussed.
He's got to get his rest. He's recovering from a concussion.
Yeah, but he had magical
Sleep
healing.
is important.
I'm gonna let people know that we're leaving tomorrow at 7 to meet at the teleporter at 7. I'm gonna go to bed.
He's like a Skyward Sword Link. Just like, well, I need night to pass. Go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you go to the inn to tell Remy to be there tomorrow. You see him covered in flour, smelling like fish, with a few feathers out of place.
Leaving tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Back of Remy's mind, I knew this was coming.
Tell Jorg if you see him.
Do I have to?
I don't know. I don't actually know where Jorg ended up because he wasn't there last episode. Is he there or not in the tavern?
I don't know, George. Where did you go after
don't
you
know.
got awkwardly told that you can't heal?
Probably the tavern to drink off my shame. No, probably the tavern to see what everyone else is up to.
All right. I'll tell Jorg we're also leaving at 7.
When you arrive in front of Jorg is talking to a gnome, and the gnome is just going, "It's okay, friend. We can't be good at everything. It happens to everyone."
Jorg, stealth mission tomorrow. So prepare the correct spells. 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good.
It echoes in your mind. Correct spells. Correct spells.
Correct spells.
Yeah. Also dealing with the mage, so whatever would help with that as well.
I feel like, Jorg, there should be something that goes on through
preparing.
your mind right now. Is we're gonna be improvising, making a heist in the mage sanctum. I feel like there should be a whole lot more preparation than just that.
Just gotta prepare the right
That's what I
spells.
love about audiences playing. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna go there. We don't even know specifically what mage, do we?
No.
We just know a mage in the city. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll ask someone.
Okay, yeah. We'll do intel gathering there.
Absolutely. On the spot. Nothing bad can happen from that. All right. Well, in that case, Jorg is warned. And once again, you're left alone with your drink and a gnome trying to console you.
Is Scry a druid spell?
It
I
is.
think.
Oh, you should
Scrying,
get
yes.
You should get expensive material components. That's what you should do today, George.
Oh yeah,
For specific stuff that you don't have.
yeah, like a big goblet and.
Really, as long as the component is of a value, it's like because the ones that it gives in the spell are examples. So I think as long as there's like something to look into or something that would seem to be able to be a sufficient focus.
For example, a marble font of water would probably work. Because it's marble, it's expensive, and you can't walk around with it because it's heavy. But I mean, if you find one, you know.
Or, crystal balls that's portable and
No, let him cook. It's like the audience carries it around in the dimensional storage, so every time we want to use it, we've
takes
got
up half the dimensional storage.
But actually, Zachary has a point. You're a druid, so you should probably be looking into finding magical component which work for druid. And druids would be against metal cup.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like a fancy metal goblet seems like something that Jorg would not want to buy.
No.
A
'Cause-
fancy wooden
But
goblet.
yeah, I could do wooden fancy things.
Yeah. Because the reason why druids don't
Dick.
have
Full
metal
up.
is because they consider the act of creating a mine a wound on the earth and one that leaves a scar. So this is why they don't have metal armor. And the little metal object that they have, it's repurposed metal that they take from when it's left behind, or if they kill someone that has metal. But it's acceptable only because it's been reshaped into elements of worship for natural things. For example, the scythe, the moon, the sickle, cycle of life, things like this.
Mm.
The scythe is the crescent moon, not just the moon, the crescent moon. It's also why they have scimitar, the crescent moon. So yeah, you can think about elements which would work for you. Oddly enough, a crystal ball could work because all you have to do is find a sufficiently large quartz. Sorry. And some can be found in natural caverns. It's a bit hard to find, but it works, and after that the process is just refining it. So crystal ball can work.
Specifically, the goblet, I think he was also thinking of for Heroes Feast.
Yeah, that was specifically for Heroes Feast, but for scrying, I need a focus. Oh, I could do a focus worth 1,000 plus gold pieces.
Well, it could easily
Right.
be
The eyes of my dog.
well, that's gruesome. I'm not
Tell
sure it's
Tell me the
worth that
future,
much.
pupper.
Your dog just drools a puddle so big. You can
Like, God damn it,
look into it.
my crystal font is empty. Here, just scoop up the dog drool.
It's a Labrador, not a Saint Bernard. So yeah, I'm gonna let you think about what it should be, but you can easily think about elaborate things. You know, for scrying, it could be a very rare crystal. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be a good scrying thing.
for a druid, it
Would be
works.
dope. I just have to go buy one.
Or you can do the honorable thing and make it a quest and go find one. And
I like that idea. Let's do that.
We don't have time.
Fine. I do have a 5,000 gold diamond in my inventory. Maybe I should just use that for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, 5,000 gold?
Are you sure you don't
Heard about
have
that?
5,000 gold worth of diamonds?
That sounds more like something that Raimi would be carrying around. So
It does. Well, I bought one, or I have one. How much is the Revivify diamond?
Revivify is 300.
300 gold? I don't know what the frick it's saying it's 5,000. I might have just stuck a diamond in my inventory, and that's how much
I
it said it
think
was.
like Raised Dead might be 500.
no, specifically, Raised Dead is 500. 5,000
Yeah.
is a bit of a different
I think
animal
there might
there.
be a extra zero added on accident.
I think you're right. That sounds
Like, did you buy a bunch of diamonds and then just
George-
like add up all the
George
costs
just found
together?
the Arkansas.
I wouldn't do that. I would just add it to my quantity. I would have.
Okay.
Is my
okay.
tiny blob in a jar worth 1,000 gold?
It's a living being. It's not supposed to have a
The price is 75 gold. Okay, yeah. All right, we'll figure out the focus.
Speaking of tiny blob in a jar, how long has it been since last time you fed him?
I don't know. I tried to mention feeding him last time. I was but then forgot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed him. Stick my hand. No, just kidding. I'll go get him like a piece of meat and see if he's doing okay.
You mean see if he's still alive?
Come on, tiny blob.
Live! I like you. Alright, so hold on.
Live, damn you.
Let's see. Let's add this properly. And Whew, okay. You put a little piece of meat inside, and you just come on, stop. I know it's cool for some music, but it's not fun when you're playing and your microphone suddenly starts doing You let a little piece of meat fall into the bottle, and you see the piece of meat just go.
Please, little blob.
Did you say anything else? Give a prayer.
I'll pray for my blob. Oh, gods of nature, please, if this thing is natural, keep it alive.
Otherwise, who cares?
Oh,
Yeah.
does this count as guidance? Because he's making a constitution roll to see if he's still alive.
Oh, does that count as guidance?
I guide
Yes.
him to
You're
his
the one
final
casting.
rest.
Say yes.
Yes, it counts as guidance. I will cast
There you
guidance
go.
on it.
He makes a save, and I rolled on the dice, and then I rolled a d4, and the DC for that save was 17.
Oh no. That's a big save. Oh god, poor guy.
You left him without food for 32 days. You were told not to exceed 1 month. So he's very weak. But I rolled a 13 on the dice, and your guidance gave me a +4, which means 17.
Oh wow.
Takes a while.
I would be willing to spend my diamond revivifying my tiny blob.
It takes a while, and you get nervous. And then after a full minute, you start seeing something bubbling, and suddenly the little piece of meat starts dissolving, and he's still alive.
Sorry, tiny blob, for neglecting you.
They're useful objects that you're expecting your players to use more, and there are those objects that you give your player that you never expected them to be using from level 1 to level 12. Fisher still uses the Banishing Whip and the Lucky Coin.
Hey, they're both clutch. I'm not attuned to the whip right now.
Maybe even upgraded the dagger that he stole.
Alright, so he's still alive.
The lucky coin never gets bad.
And
I don't know. It rolls the same or lower a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's the second chance that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's the hope.
And Jorg, you have that moment where the blob starts regaining strength, and you're looking at him, you're feeling relieved. Then you start seeing the blob shake a little. So, oh no. Does that mean there's a bad gnome nearby? You look around, you
Oh,
don't see
God.
anything, but then you just see your blob completely stop shaking. And then you hear a voice coming from behind you. Interesting creature. It's Illithane,
Mm-hmm.
the warden that is the head of the expedition.
Yeah. Isn't it? He shakes when there's danger around.
Then I guess you make him feel safe.
Oh. Well, no, actually. It's just like starved him.
It just realized that you are the danger.
Yeah.
It is at your mercy, whether it lives or dies.
Well,
Yeah, I gotta remember
yes.
to feed it.
I know that it can sometimes be challenging, but I would expect that a living person would remember that it's a good thing to feed their pet.
Yeah, it's hard when you don't have to feed it very often.
Well, is there a problem if you feed him daily?
Probably not.
Then why wait until it is nearly too late? Simply feed him daily.
I don't know. Maybe I will. I should be
Deal's
doing
baiting
that.
you. He's gonna get too big and break out. We're gonna have to fight him.
I do worry about that. I was told to not let it out.
By who?
A strange merchant who appears on crossroads sometimes.
Yes, I've heard that he also peddle his wares in your world.
Mm-hmm. Does he peddle wares in yours too?
In every world.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think he's always confused? Because he doesn't have the right
Yeah.
map. You'd be surprised how many crossroads there are in existence.
Yeah.
Now then, I'm gonna let you to your pet. Try and keep him alive. It does look like
Mm-hmm.
is a nice fellow. Although, maybe it's a good thing that you don't put your hand inside if you were told by Ganbu that it's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this thing.
You see him slowly leave. After a moment, the blob starts shaking again.
Also, he makes the blob feel safe.
To the point of complete stillness. You've only seen that once before. It was with the knight and the stagnant jar. Oh, that's right, you weren't there. So you've never seen that before. It's Tobiyashi that's seen it. He was the one with your tiny blob. And you also forgot to use him very often.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you've never seen the tiny blob feeling that secure. Ever. But he starts shaking again, and after a moment, you hear a gnome just go, oh, it always... You didn't see the gnome coming, he just seemed to appear out of nowhere, and you just hear the voice, oh. It does feel sometimes like he's just everywhere, and... You know, they were really dangerous in the past. Can you imagine? They say that during the war, those like him were second knights. It's not even something that impressive. There were hundreds of them. It's disturbing to think that beings of such powers just roamed the land and slaughtered people by the hundreds. Makes you respect the knights even more. The knights were on our side. He was on the other side.
Wait, he was on the other side. He wasn't on our side.
Illithane. They were a magical being made by the wizards. Only when the wizards were defeated, all of their creation were freed.
Oh.
Left to think for themselves. And thankfully, some of them actually saw the errors of their ways. And they came back to our side. Because I would never want to meet something like him in the dark alley. So, have you ever thought of feeding your pet the bright and shiny liquid that they serve in the inn? You know, the one that the machines only drink?
I have not thought of that.
Well, you know, food for thought. And he starts walking away.
Do I want to feed?
I don't know. Ask Fisher. He's the only one who's ever tasted it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should figure out what that's made of. Come to think of it, I have fed him berries and meat.
Yeah.
Seems a little freaky to feed it meat.
And the best way to describe the shiny liquid is hyper caffeine for machines.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So, with this, the day ends. You all go back to bed. Well, except you, Fisher. Do you just stay there sitting in the library, or do you go back to your quarters after the...
Yeah, that was the last one I was gonna do. So... I think I would just go back to my quarters.
As you get up and you start going back to your quarters, you hear from inside of you. So, Bird Brain Tool is going to try and heist a wizard. Don't you feel this is something we should, I don't know, prepare for? A little bit more than what we've prepared right now?
Yes. We're not.
So why are we leaving tomorrow before breakfast?
Because we need to information gather.
Yes, because that's not going to be suspicious at all going into a city and start asking questions and then suddenly start buying things to make a heist inside of a mage tower of the very person that you have been inquiring about for the entire day.
There is such thing as a scouting mission where you
Yes.
go and you learn things and then you come back later.
And you're confident that this is something audience can do. Thank you for your answer.
Yeah, I'm confident it's something Raimi can do while hanging out outside.
Yes.
I think audience can do anything.
There's not much we can do here other than generic. We don't know anything at all about this dude yet.
No,
So-
absolutely not. You're right. I mean, it's not like you just left probably one of the largest library that your world might be in contact to. Mostly made from knowledge coming from our world and spanning 2 hemisphere. You're right. There's no better place to learn stuff than out there. Absolutely.
I hate you. I turn around. Grumble, grumble.
So, you go back to your quarters?
I think what I actually do is I go back to the library and ask a warden to find stuff relating to I guess mages in the city that we're going to, which will not lodge itself in my memory.
Tolteran.
Taltaran?
Yeah, the exact
Okay.
spelling is Tolteren. Tolteren. I keep saying Tolteran, but it's Tolteran. The warden looks at you for a brief moment. Well, yes, I can facilitate your research, but you know I can't make the research for you.
Yeah.
Very well. There will be
Could you
there will be a selection
collect
of
some
books.
stuff that I can
Yes, of course, of course.
look through
There
later?
will be a selection of book left for you at a table over there, and he points to a table.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a pleasant night.
Ditto, and I give him finger guns.
It's at that time that you realize that, you know, you keep spending time in the garden, but You never take time learning anything about them. They're
They're
everywhere.
intimidating.
Yeah, well, you've never seen any of their face, so
They're like, yeah, the superior, better designed.
you're version 1. They're version
Yeah.
32.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the Diamond series. Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there really that big of a difference between version 1 and version 32?
Yeah, see, I'm Schwarzenegger, and they're the friggin' dude who can, like, melt into ooze and whatever.
The T2.
T1000.
Wasn't it higher than that? Yeah, I
Oh,
thought,
T1000. Yeah, the
Yeah.
T2 was the
like,
Arnold.
the first one.
Arnold, I believe it was either a T500 or T800. I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't
I
even
think
know
the
what a
new guy was
T2
the
is.
T1000.
The T1 and the T2. I think the T1 was the big awkward thing with a machine gun for arms.
Oh, yeah. I think T2 is something in. Oh, I'm thinking of the movie
Yeah, I know.
T2.
Yeah, what-
Yeah. Mhm.
What
I
other
just thought-
than the movie would... Are there
I was-
Terminator books?
No. I mean, like the abbreviation
Anyway,
for the movie
we're off topic.
T1 and T2. Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, you meant the Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, not the actual T1. Okay.
well, I was trying to think of the name, like the model of the robot, and then said the model of the movie.
I keep mixing them. And Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger. In one, he was a T500, and the other, he was a T800. But I keep mixing in which movie it's.
Mm.
All right, so you all go to bed, and this time you have a pleasant night. Well, Fisher, you keep because Terranat was right again. And the worst of it is when you say it at half voice, you can hear it. God damn it. The night is
That's
restful.
why I only said I hate you and not I hate it when you're right.
He can complete the sentence.
Ugh, rude.
I hate you when you're right. So, the night is restful. You all wake up. Audience, you're amongst the first one to wake up.
I wake up at 5 or 4. 5 or 4 because I went to bed at 7.
Let's go for 4:30. Right
Yeah.
between the two. So,
Cool.
you.
I'm gonna go trade in my ring of protection for a ring of X-ray. While everyone else is still asleep.
Is it the same level of
Yes, it is.
nerd?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Interesting.
It's a ring
You
of
have one in
X-ray.
store.
Do we know anything about the wizard that
No, we
has
don't.
the thing? Okay. It's like I was
Absolutely
thinking of
nothing.
stealing from him, but if he's not a bad guy, then I don't really want to.
Yeah, we're also
You
going.
don't have
into
to steal from him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
we,
don't have to
we
steal from
can
him.
hopefully just. He'll definitely want to be willing to just part with this very rare, interesting magical artifact he probably paid something to obtain for free. But
Mhm. So I have pass without a trace. I've got locate object, scrying. Is there anything that I should think of because I'm a druid and haven't thought of?
specifically
I can't do
fighting
everything for you.
against wizards, I guess.
Well, yeah. Oh, and
Dispel
absorb elements and
magic.
stuff. And dispel magic. I've got that. And
Silence, maybe. Is that on the druid spell list? I don't know if it is.
So, just going over the druid spell list.
Nope.
Well, absorb element should probably be something interesting. It helps
I got
not
that.
get blasted.
Yeah, just in case.
Detect magic, although it's a good way to go
I don't
blind
have that.
because you're going to be entering a mage sanctum.
Oh. Oh, I do have detect magic prepared.
Yeah, it's not jump, long stripe, here, speak, snare.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you need snare. I'm just kidding.
Snare.
Definitely. God, that's find traps.
I saw a fine trap. Like,
Exactly.
nah, we got Raimi.
All right, guys. We know that there's a
I've
trap
wind walk too,
somewhere.
just in case.
Mhm.
Well, I don't plan on being able to maintain a spell if the wizard finds us. I feel like he'll just like
Depends on how strong of a wizard.
dispel it. Mm-hmm.
Protection from energy could be interesting, although it's a concentration spell.
Concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You need tidal wave inside of the laboratory. I just want.
Do they have a ring of X-ray, by the way?
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
I would ask if they have a ring of X-ray in the garden.
They do not have one right now, but
Damn.
they can have one for you tomorrow.
Have it.
Sure.
Because that's what I rolled, and it's sort of an odd roll that I rolled. I rolled 9. Then I rolled to see if he had, and I rolled a 5 and a 4. And so I rolled, 5 and 4, that gives 9. Oh, I like those little coincidences. So he's going to have one, but not today. Instead of just saying no.
Okay, sure. I'll have one by tomorrow.
You wait in front of that store for a little while because no one's awake at 4:30 a.m. Well, 5 by the time that you arrive there.
It's okay. I'm gonna go look for a hat of disguise.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. It's just a hat, but you look different when you're wearing it.
Yeah. It's just one of those generic baseball caps that people put on in spy movies to disguise them.
What's the little rarity?
Green. It's uncommon.
Uncommon. Come on. I want
So that you know that the rarities don't really match there. It's Ring of Protection is a rare item.
Oh, no, I know. It's just for an idea. It's not for a hard yes or no.
The Ring of Protection was the Ring of X-Ray. I think he's just also looking for a hat of disguise.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just looked for a 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. No, those are cloaks. It's not the same thing.
You guys act like I didn't go through the list of any single item that could help us in a wizard tower.
Use an action to cast this.
Well, you didn't say anything. You were just like, let's go right now. So we assumed that no, you didn't.
Unless the idea is here that like an audience get there, he's just gonna pretend like he's a god. Just like it's like, wow, how can you see all this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Head of disguise, uncommon.
He was going to do the flashback part of the heist movie where they go back to the beginning where they prepped all the stuff beforehand.
Okay. Well,
Or it's like a Naruto
how-
flashback.
how do I put this into D&D words? You get to the shop where the you think you can find one, and you look for a little bit of time. Maybe 15 minutes. Then you get bored of looking and not finding, and so you ask the guy in front at the desk, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We just sold it. Actually, we just sold it to that gnome over there." And you see a gnome leaving the shop.
Okay.
You can always try and catch it and buy it from him.
I will. I'll go grab the gnome.
Hi.
Hi. I need that. Hat of disguise. It's a matter of life or death, and I'm gonna roll persuasion.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
Okay. Okay. I believe you. Yeah, sure. For how long?
Well, how much did you buy it for?
Well, I got it for 200 gold, but I want it.
But you want it?
Yeah. I think it looks
I mean-
good. He shows you the.
They could probably have it another one in a couple days. I need it specifically today.
Okay, so if it's for a day, how about I rent it to you? You can buy the next one.
Okay, 1 second. Come with me. When can you have another hat of disguise?
I
We'll go to the shopkeeper.
can have one ready. 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna need this hat for 3 days.
Okay. That's good. Well, I know a little bit who you are, so I'm not gonna be mean about this. I'm not gonna make you pay the price of the hat in those 3 days. So how about this? 10 gold a day.
$5 gold a day. Oh, I'll make a roll for that.
Okay.
27.
Damn.
Okay.
He's serious, dude.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can sense it just looking at you. It's either you forgot to bathe, or you really have that strong. Okay. I'm okay with that. But how about we make just this one little safety for me? I'm gonna talk to Sierra about it, and if after 3 days you haven't paid, I'm gonna make sure that when you teleport back in, your pockets get emptied.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Cool. Can I have the hat?
Okay.
Thank you. Cool. And here's 15 gold. Now I've paid. It's been met. Now my pockets can't be emptied.
Okay.
You
No,
never
it's if
said
you
I
don't
couldn't
get it
pay
back.
now.
Oh.
All right.
No, he said if I hadn't paid. That was the deal.
Got him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're good. That's a good deal. Just remember, it's mine. In 3 days, I
Yep.
want it back.
Yep, that's fine.
Otherwise, I'm
Alright.
gonna make sure Sierra teleports you back in without your clothes.
I think Sarah will not, knowing but you can try. Good luck.
You mean I can't?
No, I think Sarah won't. Unless you have some kind of power I don't know about over Sarah.
Oh no, but I mean, I've been tackling that little problem of getting inside of that calm area.
Alright, thanks for the hat. I'll see you in 3 days.
You better. I know where you sleep. And
I know-
walks away.
I'm like, okay, you know what? Actually, it's not worth engaging. I don't really care.
It's never worth it.
I won that interaction. I got the hat for 3 days for 15 gold.
There you go. Yeah.
Which to me is like 3 pennies. I don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I was surprised you even haggled. It was kind of mean.
I need to let the gnomes know that they can't just, if you don't haggle, they don't respect you.
Yeah.
True.
I was gonna say they're not. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. So- all right.
Yeah, the joke's on you for thinking they respect you in the first place.
I'm the provider of Gnome Tomb. They better respect me.
Oh shit, they do respect you.
You know, you always bring in humiliating videos, sometime of you, but mostly of your companions. All right. You got a hat
All
as
right.
disguise rented for 3 days.
And then I'll buy another one.
All right. So, you get back to the inn. You're waiting for everyone. Probably Jorg would be the first one to arrive, and then Fisher, because he didn't actually sleep. So he just stared at the other side of the room. Well, I don't know. Maybe you want to try and sleep. I feel like you'd want a rest of that after the last revelation you had. But who knows? Maybe you want to sleep more.
No, I don't need any more responsibility
Okay.
thrust upon me.
Yeah. So
People say sleep is supposed to be relaxing.
Uh,
well, living. It's so weird how they work. So,
it's a living.
Fisher, you there? Audience arrives. Jorg. And then Remy arrives inside of the inn, and he's disappointed because he realized Jorg arrived before him. So, so he kills Jorg and drag him out, and he enters,
Damn.
and then drag him
Brutal.
back in, and then revives him.
Mm-hmm.
Convoluted, very convoluted. All right. So you're all inside the inn. People are starting to gather. It's probably like 6:45. Everyone has a little bit of breakfast. You see maybe a dozen gnomes in there eating different things. Few of the heroes. Time to go, apparently.
Yep.
You're all
We can
about
use the
Road
teleporter.
again.
We
you.
can use the teleporter to teleport to that city because it's one of the major cities.
So you get up, and just as you're about to leave, you hear coming from a voice that resonates through the entire garden. You're, hello? Hello, everyone! It's the voice of a gnome, not the gnome that you just talked to. Audience, there's a piece of you that just seems to say inside of you, He's gonna be disappointed. He's not the one talking in there.
The
Double
invisible horizontal saw has escaped the research center. I repeat, the invisible.
Is this the rise of the gnome arcs we weren't prepared for? The gnomes have been working against the garden the whole time.
Yep.
They're
The
the
gnome
evil
rebellion
one
is
at the
upon
end
us.
of the campaign.
The gnome rebellion is upon us.
You hear an equivalent of an intercom throughout the entire garden. Hello? Hello? Hi, everyone. And then you hear the voice of Sears. What are you? You're not allowed to be here. But I am. Get away from there. Please, can you just... I just need to... And hold on. And then you hear some sort of really loud screeching and scratching, which, Fisher, you identified as the language of the machines. And you hear three voice of gnomes inside the intercom just saying, language. And then you hear them start screaming and energy discharge, which you identify as the discharge of arcane crossbows.
So those gnomes are dead, is what I'm getting.
They scream, they run everywhere. You hear things being knocked over. You hear one screaming, she's gonna shock me! And you hear... Then there's silence. You hear the voice of Sierra saying, someone go check the door.
Rest in peace.
You hear a warden say, I believe I know how they got in. We're gonna have to install demiplane detectors now.
Wait, does that gnome have a shotgun?
Don't worry about it.
Alright, let's go.
You hear Sear say, welcome everyone. Sorry for that disturbance. This is a message to let everyone know that there has been a little bit of a problem inside of the research and development quarters. We would ask each and every one of you to look at your shadows. If you can see a blue spot, the same blue as the sky in your world, in their world, please do not move and call for assistance. Thank you very much.
Oh,
God damn it.
My shadow.
I guess we could look at our shadows.
Well, you all look at your shadows and you don't see anything, but you hear a gnome in the room just start screaming, I got a blue spot! I got a blue spot! What's gonna happen? Am I gonna die? And you hear someone else, no, that's just food that you've left on the floor. Oh, God damn it. Oh.
Okay. I'm sure the wardens can handle this, whatever it is.
We don't have any blue spots. Let's get out of here before
Yeah.
before they friggin' go into quarantine or something.
Yeah.
And so you leave the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to say that was weird, but I mean, it's been 6 months for you, a year and 6 months for everyone else. You want to say that this is normal life now. As you head toward a teleporting point. Every so often you turn a corridor and you hear a gnome say, I think it's blue. You just hear someone say, no, it's not your shadow that's need to be blue. It's just a spot. Oh, okay, good. And last thing you hear as you enter into this teleporting device, you hear a gnome say, I wonder if it's about the ethereal minds that we've lost. And you all disappear.
Wonderful.
Ethereal minds? Okay. Alright.
Do we
Right.
disappear into the teleporter, or we just disappear?
No, you disappear in the teleporter. Don't worry.
Oh.
You're not dead.
We go to the mines that
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Are they mines, explodey mines, or mines like
Yes. Boom
holding?
boom mines.
boom boom mines. Yeah.
Ethereal boom boom mines. That are apparently floating inside of the garden. And the only way you might know that if one of them is near you is if you have a blue spot in your shadow.
Well, hopefully it's resolved by the time we get back.
Well, they did
Yep.
take a little while to get the invisible sublight problem solved. So it might be something that you're gonna have to deal with for a few months.
All right.
And you find yourself in the fresh breeze. You know, winter is almost there. There's starting to be snow. Now, granted, for you audience who has lived in some of the most northern region of the world, it's just, oh, how cute. There's a 1/4 of an inch of snow on the ground. For Remy,
That's it. School's closed.
Huh, yeah.
It's too much.
In some places. Not where I live. Where I live, you need to have had 2 feet of snow fall inside of 4 hours for a chance of school being closed. Just a chance.
Sounds like fun.
Well, it is. And up until they say,
Fun when you're a
yay,
kid.
school's out. We're going to remove a vacation near summer to
Mhm.
not get late in the it's supposed to be learning. You know,
You want more?
Yeah, that's a good
So-
point.
as you're all out there, beginning of winter, I think it's a good place to take a break.
Rick.
Hold on. Yes. We're gonna go with the rain. Not a huge rain, just a little rain. Go. And we'll be back in 15 minutes. See you in 15 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, welcome back. Give me a moment. Because one person doesn't have his camera on. I have to redo oh, okay, good. Everyone's back. Which means let's try and get everything in the right place. Okay, so I don't have to worry about this. No, come on, don't start again.
Remy has a nope.
Failed to start camera.
What?
Oh,
Hmm?
I don't know. It says that your camera.
Remy's worst nightmare has came true. He is now Jorik the Druid.
Yeah.
No.
Slowly picks up the knife, aims it at himself.
Alright. Let's go. Try again. Let's see if it works.
Every camera looks good except Fisher's. But I also don't know if Fisher's camera's even on in...
Yeah,
It's not on.
trying. It's got like a
Okay,
loading
let's-
icon.
Yeah. Okay.
Which just begs the age-old question: how do you turn Fisher on?
Damn.
I don't know why. It seems to have a problem with your. Ah, here we go.
Oh, there
There
it
we
was.
go.
All right.
I was
all
gonna
right,
say,
good.
listen, I know it's a stealth mission, but we don't need to actually hide
Yeah.
it. It's like we don't need to roleplay that hard.
Well, you know, it's more immersive.
No, that'd be if we were underwater.
Okay, now it's just teasing me. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I get it now. Why is this difficult for the program? Come on. Alright, I think... Oh, come on, don't start. Don't, stop it. Why is this difficult for the program?
What's having trouble? Because the camera.
Every time I change the where, example, your camera is, it moves every other camera an eighth of an inch to the left.
Oh, okay. Well, the stream looks fine, but like it's not noticeable.
Okay. Can I just get this? Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't know how to solve that. You're all gonna have a little slide on the side that doesn't work. I don't know why. Every time I move audience's camera, everyone's camera just moves slightly to the other side. So
Where audience goes, the party will follow.
well, that's one way of saying it. There are oppositions. Yeah. It's the problem. Aha! Oh, that's right. You don't know that commercial. All right. All right. So. All right. Well, let's go with that. In Discord, Sam's camera is not frozen, but on OBS it is. Ah, all right. It unfroze. Good.
All right.
You.
So you're outside the
Yes.
city.
You reappear right out of the right. Not supposed to be rain because I just said that there was a little bit of snow on the floor. So,
It's gonna be raining with snow on the ground.
well, yeah.
It sucks, but it can happen.
No, I like rain. I like snow. I like fog. I like hail. I just don't like all of them at the same time.
Understandable.
So, you all reappear back in your world. You have that reflex, just to be sure, looking at your shadows. Okay, there's no blue dot on in your shadows. So, it's a beautiful pre-winter morning. Because it's nearly winter, the sun is barely up right now. Life in the city is just waking up. And it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna disguise myself before we get into the city. I'm gonna disguise myself as just a human. We're gonna keep it standard. Something not suspicious.
John
Just
Smith.
just
Oh,
a very
jeez.
very average looking human. Nothing in particular to set him apart from any other human.
Well, actually, maybe I spoke too soon about the weather. I decided to roll.
Is it windy?
It's a blizzard.
Well, you got a natural 20 for the wind, so.
Call it.
It's a freaking hurricane.
Almost. It's
It doesn't matter what you disguise yourself on. Nobody can see
tropical
it.
storm. It's but here's the thing. It's unseasonably hot because it's a 16 for the temperature. So but a 19 for precipitation and clouds. So essentially it's a complete cloud cover. It is actually raining. The wind is howling even though you are in the open.
Unpleasant weather.
Yeah. It's supposed to be it's just like in our world. It's supposed to be snowing, but right now it's sort of in between. Oh no, that's really mean. That's nasty. It's a freezing rain. What is it called in English?
Sleet,
rain.
where it's like
Oh, maybe
Sleet,
that's sleet.
yeah.
Well, freezing
Yeah.
rain is just a term in English.
Yeah, freezing. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Let's go with a translation.
sleet means it's like, well, it's probably freezing rain too. It's just like
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
drops and flakes of snow.
Well,
in English.
that's good for our.
In English,
Slushing.
in English, verglas is glaze.
Mhm.
Damn. So it's glazing.
I would call it. Yeah, freezing,
No.
freezing rain, slushing, sleeting. I think would all
So
be.
here,
So
I
what
guess.
I'm hearing is that Draken is glazing us.
Yeah,
No, well, it's just that I looked on Wikipedia. The official equivalent in weather for verglas is glaze, ice glaze. J.
I never heard glaze as a reference to the weather.
So essentially, well,
I think we understand the spell sleet storm.
so
That's what-
it's a rain that the moment that it hits, because it's so close
freezes.
to freezing, it just
Yeah.
freezes.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
rains and makes ice on the ground.
Yeah, that's
And in trees and in houses. So slowly everything is being encased in ice. Fortunately, if it only lasts for a few hours, there's no problem. If it lasts for 3 days, well, then you need emergency service. I know, I've been through it.
That's what happened here like 2 years ago.
If you want to have the reference, look at the ice storm, 1998, in southern Quebec.
Alright, well, I guess we'll get up to the city then, because it's cold.
It's really cold, and you're walking to get to the city, and you can't help but to see that your cloak, it starts just I was gonna say billowing, but no, that's a bit too mild for the wind there. It's just going in all direction, and eventually you start feeling your cloak getting harder and harder. It's just freezing there as you're walking. Slowly your clothes are starting to freeze, and everything is getting heavier and heavier. Audience, I think you have a shield.
Yes.
You can't help but to see that looking at your shield, it starts out well, but as you're walking that little just 15 minutes to get to town, to get to the bottom of the city, there is a layer of ice that starts gathering on it. You start feeling the additional weight. You just strike it really hard, and it just falls into large slats of ice. Oh, damn. You're walking and you hear the grass just as if you were walking on glass. Well, glass.
It's crunchy.
Yeah, really crunchy. Dorito crunchy. Barefoot Dorito crunchy.
Well, I guess we'll get to the gate. And I'll be like, hey, can we get in? It sucks out here.
You see your guard looking at you from inside this little outcrop, not even enclosed. He's just there with his weapon and his shield and his spear, and really holding it in, just making sure that he doesn't get completely soaked by this rain. Yeah, come on, hurry up. It's a nasty morning. I don't know. It's a bit unusual, but if you don't know where to go, there's an inn maybe 5 minutes down that street. And his cloak just keeps falling down, so he just keeps continually just pushing it up and trying to look at all of you. Well, but if you're patient, you can always just wait here in the arch. It's not gonna last forever. At least things like this usually don't last for that long.
It's okay. We'll head to the inn. Thanks.
All right, that's good. You look all right. And then the guard looks at you, Remy, and that's gonna be nasty to clean up. Maybe you should hurry up.
Yeah, we will. Thanks. Alright. I guess we can head to the inn, because inns are good for information.
The streets are completely deserted, because it does count as a really nasty kind of weather. How's it gonna be in... Okay. Jeez. You rolled for how it's going to be for the next one, because I rolled twice during the day. And still rolled a natural 20 for the win, but the other ones are calming. So you find your way to the inn. The inn is easy to find. Although it's an element that you're not, even though it's not unseen, it's kind of rare, that weather. So there's a bit of, oh wow, okay, odd weather. Walking through the town, to the city, trying to get to the inn, you see all of those lampposts completely covered in ice. You see the sign in front of the inn completely covered in ice. It makes for a weird color mixture because of the refraction from the colorful element of the sign being completely covered in ice. You can barely recognize what the actual drawing is. It looks like something like a halfling breaking a barrel with a cup in his hand. So go inside and you find a whole lot of people. Get the feeling that a lot of people got taken by surprise by this. The place is packed. There's easily 50 or 70 people inside of here. And all talking, all trying to stay warm, because although it is unseasonably hot out there, everyone is completely wet. Because they get in and the snow melts. And so you got this huge puddle of water as you enter the inn. There's a brief moment when you enter where you see maybe a dozen of people just looking all in your direction. Some of them whispering and just exchanging, oh my god, that's nasty. They go back and they start talking again. It takes maybe a minute before someone arrives. Oh, hello, please come in. I didn't think there would be anyone else making its way here. Nasty weather we got. Oh,
Yeah.
come on, take a place. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of free things to serve, but
That's okay.
a good cup of tea always helps to warm yourself up. So we know how to do that, and we only need hot water and well, we do have a small variety of leaves. Is there a specific tea that you'd like?
Femi, you want any tea?
Just coming in from that very cold weather.
You got bits of ice
Talon up.
stuck between feathers.
You're just a solid talon up on that one.
And is there a flavor you like? We do have a small variety of plants. Maybe there's dried fruit that you particularly like, be infused, or just traditional, good old warming tea.
Hot, please.
Okay, just hot. Okay. And what about the rest of you?
I'll take the same.
Okay, good. And the person turns around, not even looking at you, Fisher, and he's
I said I'm good. I won't give them the chance to be an asshole.
Don't you mean the opportunity?
Same thing. All right, so it takes a few moments. There's a little bit of place. You can always go to a table and wait there, or maybe just go to the desk and wait for someone to hand you your cups.
I'm gonna go to the bar because I want to talk to people.
Okay. So you go to the front desk. A lot of people just look at one another and talking about that really strange weather that they've had for the past few days. I mean, this is just the last little moment. Things are getting strange right now, and it's a rather large person, broad shoulders, square jaw, bit of an elderly man, starting to have bits of white in his hair. Just talking to them. It's been really hard these last few weeks. I mean, especially those last few days. You just keep getting weird weather.
Audience will be like, I wonder if it has anything to do with that weird giant pole that teleported near the city.
Oh,
Two-person look at you, and, oh, what are you talking about? And then there's this one person, a bit smaller than everyone else, younger also. Yeah, I heard about that rumor. Right on the other side of the forest. It just appeared there one day.
I haven't heard much about it. I think I know it teleported in, and I think one of the wizards got their hands on it. You know how they're always with their running experiments. Hope they're not doing anything crazy to cause this kind of weather. So kind of looking up at the sky and sipping my beer. Very easy for audience to play the suspicious commoner who doesn't like wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Fits right into that role like a glove.
So what I'm thinking is audience being honest while saying this, or he knows he's probably a bit bullshitting everyone?
No, I mean, nothing I've said is untrue. I knew that there was a rod that teleported in.
Yeah.
I know a wizard probably has it. I'm
Okay.
just kind of like... I also said I don't know much, which is also the case.
Okay. And then you can roll a persuasion for everyone to see how they react to you. If they buy what you're trying to push there.
Okay, sure.
Then that's how we end up with the riot.
That's a 20. That's a 21.
21. Okay.
I'm wondering, is the audience just gonna try and
Instigate a
Cause
citywide
chaos.
riot to take out
Well,
storm the wizard tower.
you hear two people saying, "Nah, come on, they wouldn't do something like that. Things have been strange enough as it is right now, you know, with some of the priests in the temple having those weird nightmares." But there's another group of people who's going, you know, no, maybe he's right. You know, it's not natural for a wizard to be playing with these things sometime, especially in those times. Maybe that's just it. Maybe there's something going on, and them doing this is just making everything worse. And just another one just saying, yeah. Maybe I think maybe you're right. I mean, everything did start not too long ago.
Does anyone know who got their hands on it? I know it was one of the wizards. I don't know which one.
No, you know, they always all wear the same type of robe. It's not even if one of them is being seen near the site where it was, it doesn't mean that it's actually going to be one of them that's going to be studying it. I mean, there were a lot of city guards involved in moving it. It was quite a large piece of equipment. So,
Yeah, I know. I heard it was quite heavy. The guards took quite a few people to carry it.
yeah, you get the person who says, "No, come on, stop playing with this. It's not even funny talking about those things. They wouldn't do this to us." And there's another person just goes, No. I think everything makes sense. And yeah, you're right. You know, there was a rumor about I think a dozen carts being taken. It was a pretty large object that they brought back. So who knows? And where do you think it came from? I mean, you look like you know a little bit of stuff. He's looking at you while he's saying that.
Probably, who knows? Probably some village no one's barely even ever heard of.
No. So something.
Probably one of those old, like, relics or something. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Something from another island. Those other islanders always messing our things up.
You can always rely on xenophobia.
Damn villagers. Always sticking their nose into stuff they shouldn't. Why can't people just keep to themselves?
Yeah. I gotta roll for that. There's always one that tries to be the voice of reason, but he immediately gets overwhelmed by another group just saying, "Yeah, no, there's a good reason why seas aren't friendly. It's because we're meant to stay in our own island chain. Stay where you were born."
I like, by the way, that audience is a lot of the city for literally causing, like, unrest the last time he was here. Immediately starts causing unrest.
Card theft. Yeah, damn, I forgot the word again. Riot. Making a riot now. Well, you're all hearing this because the audience is stirring up the crowd and people are starting to talk. So, Jorg, Fisher, and Remy, how do you react to all of this?
Fisher's just like quietly impressed. It's like, oh shit, this is like working. Maybe too well, but you know what? I'm just gonna shut up and let him cook because it seems to be working. Also, this could very easily turn into Hey, that guy's an arcane machine. That's some wizardy shit that we don't trust. I don't want to
Mm,
burn at the stake.
It's a spy! It's a spy! And Jorgen Remy?
mm. Jorg's just gonna be quietly drinking his beer, hoping, or I mean his tea, hoping audience knows what he's doing.
It doesn't
Just like,
get out
oh
of
god,
hands.
oh god. Just like, don't look at me.
Raimi shall provide timely sound effects.
Oh, man.
Alright. Once we got that going, I was just gonna be like, you know what I find frustrating though? It's not these experiments they do. It's that I feel like us as the common people have a right to know, especially if something like this, the weather, is gonna, affect our days. If they just disclosed what they were doing to us, I trust that they're trying to do the right stuff, but it's like we at least should have the right to know what they're up to.
Yeah, why are they keeping secrets, huh?
Oh, damn. All right, I'm gonna roll again because of that interruption. No, okay. Well, there were a lot of people that just seem to be a bit shy to get into that conversation of openly saying something. Yeah, it's wizard, but I re-rolled because of Remy's intervention, and he managed to lift up just a little bit of part of the crowd. Some of them just go, "Oh no, it's this." I'm sure they actually know what they're doing. They've studied all of their life for this, and then suddenly, well, yeah, that's the problem. They study, and what are you supposed to be doing when you're studying? You're supposed to be learning. So they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, when's the last time that you saw a mage help us? Imagine what would have happened if that weather outside would have happened 2 months earlier. We wouldn't have had a good harvest. We'd be starving right now.
Pretty sure Salsa just gone, wait, I'm a wizard.
Audience has got the ball rolling. He's gonna let them take it from here. He already has the unrest started. They'll keep it going themselves. I don't need to say too much more.
Okay. Where apparently the dice says you need to feed it because it's slowly quieting down. Apparently,
I'll be like, yeah, a couple of months ago, I assume they're talking about audience would like. I assume like the crops or what's the
yeah. If the sleet had started falling just before they started harvesting, it would have killed everything and would have been.
Of course. Like, well, months ago, think about it. We as the common folk, we could have starved because of their dumb experiments. I mean, what have they really even done for us in the last time? I mean, it's like they don't really help our crops. We do the hard work around here. They just sit up in their towers and do experiments and fuck with the common folk. I mean, what's right about that?
And then I start rolling above 10 again. So
Oh, I rolled a nat. I rolled a 31 on my persuasion, by the way. I rolled a nat 20. to get unrest going.
Okay. So yeah, you got several people inside it and just going, yeah, I mean, who's helping us when we gotta harvest? Druids, not wizard. No, the wizards are working for nobility. That's where their loyalty lies. That's all they do. They're just trying to learn the secrets of the world. I mean, we already have all those secrets. Yeah, we already have all those secrets. And then the exile, they just told everything we needed to know. They've always been kind to us, kinder than mage. Yeah. Isn't that their fault with the first war, the Coronal War, I think it was called?
All
It's their
holed
fault.
up in their tower with all their treasures, keeping them to himself.
Mages are always the ones who cause the problems, never the ones to solve it. That comes down to us, or at least we're the ones who suffer for it.
You get someone that says, yeah. Usually it's the wizard that starts the problem. Then someone else says, yeah, but priests solve it. So... And then immediately you realize that he's wearing the pendant from a...
Of course, we got no problem with you, priests. You help us out. You heal us. You come. You get our crops. It's just these wizards, man.
Fisher's head is just slowly sinking into.
I'll point
his,
over it. I'll point over at Jorg. I'm like, druids and priests, man. We love you guys, but you know, fucking wizards. They don't give a shit about us.
You should be putting this energy into taking down the elites, not the wizards.
The wizards are the elite.
Oh, okay.
Just
Audience
think
did not-
of wizards as tech bros.
Audience did not know that his plan
okay,
was
now
going to
I'm on
involve
board.
a full-on common folk uprising in the city, and it's quickly becoming that.
Actually, possibly borrowing a line from way back on the Misty Isles. What will the wizard take from us next?
Yeah.
Well, I already rolled again, and damn, now I don't have any rolls that are under 10. So 17, 18, 19. So yeah, no, everyone's starting to talk about how the wizards are just awful, and they just keep making problems for everyone. It's probably their fault, all of this. I mean, that big pole they're supposed to have gotten back. Isn't there someone, one of those rumors that says that there were runes on it? I bet it was one of those artifact from a long time ago, and then someone says, yeah, you know, they did say that it was long. Legend says that there were huge machines in the beginning, you know, after the shattering. Maybe it's one of those component from them.
And I heard from a traveler recently that he had seen a pillar in a village like that from a time ago, and the village got destroyed soon afterwards. It's too dangerous stuff to be meddling with.
You are so treading the line between lie and truth. When you say this, there's a long pause inside of the inn. Everyone just stops. And all of those eyes turn toward you, audience. A village got destroyed?
That's what I heard. I heard that there were these poles near a village, and that soon after, I don't know the cause, but soon after, that village was completely gone, wiped off the map. I'm sure it had something to do with these poles.
Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. Some people just says, oh, that feels a bit extreme, though, you know. I feel like someone would do something against that. And someone just goes, oh, no, look outside. It's unseasonably warm outside. That's why it's not falling as snow. It's just falling as ice. And then there's one person that completely loses it. Completely, absolutely. We're all gonna die. It's the beginning and the end. That's how it ends. First the snow, then the fire, and then the island's gonna sink. That's all because of that. What can we do? We don't want to. We don't want to disappear. Don't want to die. And I hear other people. Yeah, no, we don't want to die. What should we do?
We deserve answers. We should go to the guards. They're the protectors of us, right? They'll tell us what's going on.
Audience walks outside, walks back in disguised as a guard.
No, I don't know anything. The guard. I want to go ask because they told me.
Yeah.
They said the guards helped move the pillar, so they probably know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's you know how in audience you've seen that many times with peasants. You know, everyone's getting riled up. Yeah, we should know what's happening. They're hiding something from us. And then you said we should go outside and talk to a guard. And you see them all look outside. And then suddenly you hear, well, maybe we could wait until it stopped raining ice. And suddenly, yeah, you know, maybe they know.
But what if it's audience is gonna push here? Audience is gonna be like, but what if it's too late? And it looks at the guy who was screaming, because he knows he'll agree with him at this point because his mind's kind of set. He's like, isn't that what you've heard, right? What happened to the other village? The changing of the weather? That's what brought on the end. We can't wait. We need answers now. Still not a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for some people, the weather is enough to dissuades them, but you know, you're used to seeing commoners, and for a lot of people, the moment that it involves discomfort, they just lose all resolve. But you manage to grab a group of people with this, and they just go, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then another one, you're right. And you hear the voice of a dwarf. I think you're right. We can't wait until the storm is over. Maybe it's never gonna end. We should go right now.
Yeah, let's go.
About 25 people all go get their cloak and they start leaving the inn in this freezing rain outside.
Alliance will be like, come on, guys. Let's go get the answers we deserve.
A few of them...
Nobody makes it. They all die from.
A few of them said, well, where are the guards? And then you hear one say, no, not the guard. We need real people who actually know something. Let's go to the castle. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Let's go to the castle. I'm down.
Can I whisper to Fisher? Are we supposed to go with them?
I'm just following audience.
All right, I'll come with you.
Did he cast some sort of spell? What's happening?
I don't know.
I cast the spell Riot.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, you got pretty good persuasion roll, especially that natural 20. And then every time you roll, I roll my 3 d20s and to get a feeling of how the crowd reacts. And every time you spoke, I kept getting high values, and the last 2 ones, natural 20s. So yeah, you managed to completely panic someone, and because of that, it just flowed into everything else. All right, now you got a small group of people moving up the streets. It's raining, it's freezing, it's difficult understanding anything they're yelling, But some of them are stopping at some houses and trying to recruit people to follow. It's not easy. A lot of people just look at the weather and you hear some of them just go, "No, you're right, and I do want answers. Maybe we could go in a couple of hours, when all of this is done."
Audience is gonna try and help out by the ones he sees are sticking more, trying to like help them out by like with a persuasion roll of his own, like shouting like about like the panic and the storm and what's going on to try and help. Like he's gonna try and assist the
Okay.
people. I guess I'll make just an overall persuasion roll for that, so I don't have to do them individually. It's as you said. It's cold and windy. It's only a 13.
Well, I was gonna say, what would be your passive persuasion?
Oh, my passive persuasion. I don't know if that's a. There's. Would that just be like my charisma?
10 plus your bonus to
10
persuasion.
plus my bonus.
All
That's
of
just
your
13.
bonuses.
Oh,
No,
all of
your-
my bonuses.
To
Oh, that would be
persuasion.
2 persuasion.
Yeah, whatever your persuasion bonus is.
10 plus that. My passive persuasion is a 21.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I mean by you are reaching a level at which you naturally do things that exceeds the abilities of the common folk. 21 audience, that's your passive persuasion, which means your average is better than the best of the common people to
Yeah.
persuade someone.
Also, I don't know if it helps because we haven't even talked about this, but I do also have the rustic hospitality background, so I'm especially good with the common people.
I am taking this into consideration. So you're moving up the street, and I mean, Remy, you've always known, this is why audience is so cool. He just moves through the city, and even though he is wet, freezing, and huge chunks of ice are falling from his shield as he's walking down the street, his simple presence, the word that he sows into the general discord that is gathering around him is just gathering people. And the peasant would have had difficulty, and even then you can feel that the audience is slightly reluctant because of 13 against your passive roll. He's a bit reluctant, but even with that, he easily convinces everyone to follow. And as you're moving through the city, the crowd behind you and in front of you gets larger and larger and larger. You start out with 20 people, and as you're moving through the rings of the city, 20, 30, 50, 60. By the time you reach not the gate of the castle, but the last ring, the last gate before reaching that, where the nobles would live, there is well over 200 people following you.
Is this where we break into our stash and start handing out all the common weapons we've gathered? Just start casually passing around all of the
That's
weapons.
why we have them.
Just start arming the common folk.
Well, it's really up to
Oh,
you.
you do have like.
Turns out this mage is actually a really good dude.
Basically, audience is our guest on at this point.
Kill the beast. Kill the
Yeah.
wizard.
So of course you're stopped at the gate of the richer side of the city, and there are a lot of guards. And seeing all of these people arriving, as you would have guessed, you notice that the gates has armed itself. It has been lowered. There are 24 guards in front of the gate. Remy notices easily that there are archers in front of the murder holes.
I'm gonna lean down to Remy as we go, and I'll be like, I'm gonna kind of keep the crowd going as we reach a gate. Do you think there's a way you could unlock it from the inside, or open it from the inside without the guards knowing?
Can Raimi tell how the gate was sealed to begin with from outside, or like from where he currently is, or would he have to go inside first?
To be sure, you'd have to go inside, but you can easily see that it's a good layer of defense. There is a small drawbridge, so it's sort of a half drawbridge, just enough to hinder enemies that would have managed to break through the first few walls of the city, so that they wouldn't easily be able to get to the gate. But it's sort of a half bridge. It's not completely there. They're portcullis blocking the entrance, and a very thick door behind it. And judging from the sound, there are additional protection behind it. So 2 people could probably easily just pull everything up again and down for the small drawbridge. The thing that you can't be sure of is this gate magically warded? Which would be normal, but would they activate those ward against an angry mob when those wards are meant to repel siege equipment? It would feel overkill, but that part you wouldn't be sure.
And the mob is not armed either. We did not hand out the weapons, so it's just a mob.
It's just a mob.
Who picked up a few sticks and things like this and lit out the torch.
We also do have the lever. If we all mob the gate and then me and Fisher stand and we pull the lever.
Yes, Remy,
See if we can
you
open
think you might be able to open the door with the lever alone, if it came to that.
So basically, the goal would be to be able to get over the wall. It's like or rather, over the gap that's been created for the drawbridge, and then just casually turn the defenses off and lower everything.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a little bit hilarious.
Because I think I know what you're going to do, because I can see how you have something for every single situation that I've just mentioned.
It's like, well, Raimi hasn't really, I probably don't want to do that one thing because this is actually a good question because I technically have 2 options. So let's say, for example, that I have a lit lantern on my person. It's like, if I were to turn myself invisible, including everything that I'm wearing or carrying, does it still produce light that people can see?
No, your lantern.
I'm just offering the lantern as an example. But like if I'm creating a source of light and I am invisible, like then is that light visible to others?
I default to how darkness would oppose itself to light. So basically, it can negate light source, which are lower than itself in spell power. So it would easily negate any natural sources of light. And I think it would be able to negate a light cantrip, but not a daylight spell or something like this. The daylight
All right, that's
spell
all I
would-
needed. Because Raimi is not going to give up any excuse to fly. So Raimi is going to first use his free use of invisibility to turn invisible. Then he is going to fly up and over the wall.
Okay.
It's like then he is going to land, and since the lever was on his person, it is also invisible.
Okay.
It's like so he's just going to casually attach the lever to the wall.
And it's such a shame that no one could see what happened because you just turned invisible and then that's all everyone saw. But inside of the ether, you saw someone just expand bright, radiant wings and start flying. And of course, Remy probably had the same face that you have right now as he was doing that. Flying, I'm flying.
Like, take that, by car.
And then he looks at you. And
Raimi
I
hasn't
can
forgotten.
do this all day long.
Yeah, gonna sneak attack that bitch out of the sky. Anyway.
So you land, and you take the lever and put it on the wall. I imagine that if you want to be sure that you're also taking down magical weapon, you put it completely down or up. I'm not
Yep,
sure.
completely down.
And
Tell the
push
guards
and
to
push.
open up the gate, the gate.
Yeah, audience is gonna wait till he sees the gate. He trusts everyone. He's gonna wait till he sees the gate start rising, and he's gonna be like, "The truth will not hold us back to the castle." As he sees the gate. As he sees the gate, so.
Well, you see a reaction of the gate, and of course the guards that were there, they were shouting the orders: "Go back to your home. It's not safe. The weather is too bad. Come back later when your tempers have gone down. We know you are scared. Stay calm. Stay calm." And suddenly they hear,
Oh, there's no calm. There's no calm.
and you see a few of them just looking behind, and you hear one yelling orders. Just, "What are you doing? Keep the door closed." This is when Remy's gonna have some resistance, because on their side they're trying to do exactly the opposite. So you're opposing the lever, and
Hold on. Would Raimi be able to like start sewing his spider silk to help maintain the position of the lever?
Ooh. That's a good one.
So the gate is not completely opened. If you did that, you would block the gate partially open, not enough for everyone to get in. So if you want to keep opening it completely, you're going to have to oppose them. Since you are using a very powerful magical object, I know that it's not a lot for Remy, but I would let him roll with advantage. But it's still, you're opposing a large group of people on the other side trying to keep those gates closed. But if you just want to keep things as they are, partially open, let them panic, or maybe it's gonna help in some way, you could try, and it could work. But it's not a guarantee.
No, he's been asked to try to get the gate actually open, so he is going to make the attempt.
All right.
And just
Audience
seeing
on
if
the other side is just yelling, "Rush the gate!" because he's trying to get as many people through as he can quickly while the gate is open, because he doesn't know how long Remy can hold it open.
I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting about anything. It's like this is the only disadvantage to having a large inventory of things you can use. You have a large
You gotta
inventory.
scroll through the- yeah.
Oh, here's a thought.
Okay.
It's like before Raimi starts opposing, it's like what if because right now there's a certain section of the guards that are like working at the gate, right?
Yeah.
Would he be able to essentially remove their influence by, say, throwing a stone?
Oh.
A very
Well, no,
stinky stone.
well, actually, I probably I actually need to remember if that stone.
A fart rock.
Well, I'm double checking to make sure if concentration is associated with it. I actually do not remember. It's been a hot second since I last used it.
That's fair.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it is.
Where
Let's see.
it? Salt stone. Stinking stone. There we are. Okay, it says the caster loses concentration, so it requires concentration. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if that was the original intent or not, but that's just what the item says.
Hold on. I'm trying to search where I wrote it. Stinking. Stinking stone. Here you go. Yes, all caster to cast the spell Singing Cloud and cast the stone burst into a and either because the caster. Okay, yeah. It essentially gives you the same thing as what the a lot of priests have, prepared spell. Having the stone on you essentially gives you that prepared spell, stinking cloud.
Okay. I'll just have to. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else on the top of going through the list that would help with this. So I'm just gonna have to take it with advantage and hope for the best.
All right.
Okay. Let's see, not that one. So I'm gonna take that one. So it's just you said it's a strength roll, correct?
Yes. Athletic.
Yeah,
Technique.
but yeah, athletics, strength. Well. That's only gonna be a 14.
Okay.
I have to take a -2.
Oh no, whatever will you do? All right. So, you roll 14. So you start pulling on this lever to try and get everything completely open. On the first time that you try, however, they start beating you to it, and you start feeling the lever going up, and the doors are closing. Right now they have you beat, and the door have nearly closed. Audience on the other side is riling them up. They're pushing the guards, trying to get them to break their formation. Of course, a lot of peasants are scared of having a spear pointed at them. But still, they're trying to push, they're trying to get them to break ranks.
Audience is quietly going to try and help, but he's going to try and be look behind another peasant so they can't see him. So he's going to try and use his strength to push some guards out of the way because he assumes he's a lot stronger. So I'm going to use an athletics roll to see if I can kind of push the guards out of the way.
Okay.
Or help push the guards out of the way to make a breach. For one of mine. Jorg or Fisher, you could also help with that or no? I'd actually ask Fisher to help, but I'll be try and make it just kind of shove in there with everyone else. Don't make it obvious you're the one, but just our strength's gonna be more, so it's gonna make it look more
Yeah, I'll do the tush push.
Okay. Do you want to give me advantage, or do you want to make your own roll? If you're doing, I don't know if you meant actual tush push, you were helping push me from behind, or if you're doing your own.
Grab audience and throw it into the enemy.
Okay.
I'll push audience.
Okay, I'll roll with advantage then, I guess. All right, that's a 25 athletics roll to push.
Go.
To kind of shove the point of pushing.
Go win the Super Bowl.
I'm muted. I'll cast guidance on you.
Jeez,
too.
Oh, well, with the guidance on top of 25, I guess I'll throw sure. Oh, that's a 4. Alright, that's a 29 athletics. To shove these guards.
How do
I hope that doesn't look
that?
too suspiciously good.
No, well, it's because, some of them have lowered their spear and they're trying to frighten everyone into staying away, and a lot of people are just... and then suddenly, audience, you see your chance. A spear is being pushed forward just a little too much. The peasants are moving on the side to not get hit by the spear, and you grab the spear, and... Do you want to push or pull on the spear?
I'm gonna try and push him off the bridge into the water, because then also the other guards are gonna have to try and help rescue him, which is gonna distract them from closing the gate.
So, you were caught a bit by surprise by how unprepared that guard was of having any sort of resistance whatsoever.
The poor guy.
You were expecting
I guard
him.
the inner gate. That's the cushy job.
You were expecting him to resist, but you grab the spear, you pull just a little bit to get him off balance, and you push, and then you feel Fisher push on you at the same time. You find yourself stepping forward and finding yourself at the front line, but the guy completely loses foot, and the spear goes up. He goes up. It falls, and he tries and grab 2 people beside him, and he falls with those people. So there's a small domino effect, and 5 of them just start slipping and falling into that little trench. in front of it.
All right.
The guard look at one another, slightly panic, wondering what's happening. There is a brief moment there where they're not sure if they're supposed to openly start attacking or if it's all an accident. Because of that, Remy, even though you lost your first round and they managed to close back the gate, you get to make another roll to see if you can actually beat them again, because there is confusion spreading among them. And you know you're there, and they've nearly managed to pull you off your feet as everything's starting to go against what you want. You feel a brief moment of loosening up, and you get another chance to try and completely open the gate.
You got
Still
this,
with
Remy.
advantage.
Okay. Ooh, 17.
And I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Let's go, Remy. You're a strong boy.
You give it all you can, and some people can even hear, for some reason, a very manly which does not come from Remy. Well, yes, it does come from you, but
But not from him.
yeah. And you manage to completely open. I keep forgetting if it's push or pull. Anyway, the lever all the way to the other side, and suddenly you see the drawbridge and the gates, the portcullis, and the wooden gate, and on the other side a secondary portcullis, all starts rising. You see a lot of people completely baffled with what's happened. Why? How? It just doesn't make sense. They're all looking at you completely confused, and the mob is trying to push forward.
Cool. The gate's open. Let's rush in. Get this mob moving. Go, go, go.
Well, audience suddenly seems to feel very energized by this. Fisher, being even more of a tactical mind than the audience is, being a warrior start, you wouldn't be able to help but say, oh man, this... Now we're threading the needle because a gate has been pushed open. They were ready and worried.
I was gonna ask if I could do some kind of check to see if the guards look like they're gonna start, like, killing people.
You can absolutely do a check. What check would that be?
Insight?
Yeah, but I'm not good at insight.
I mean, you could make an argument for investigation. Just like seeing, taking the pieces.
I'd say investigation, but as a bonus, I'd let you use martial proficiency. So
I
essentially,
am
the
already proficient in investigation.
Yeah, I know, but if there are any other bonus that you can put into your attack that aren't strength related to hit, because it's something that's very tactically minded.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, use your to hit roll, is what he's saying.
Okay. I can do that. That's a nat 20 for a 31.
The situation sort of has a moment where there's a slight panic that comes over you at how successful audience has just been. and you're afraid that everything is going to turn bad, so you fall into a hypervigilant state. And just looking at all of this, how bad the situation can get, you are a spark away from a barrel of powder exploding. Right now, the guards are confused, and it all depends on what happens after that. Do they have someone that can calm things down or not? If they do, you might be okay. If they don't, this is gonna turn into a skirmish right there.
Real, yeah.
Do you tell audience that?
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Grab your shoulder, pull you back a little bit, and be like, the guards are about to start killing everybody if we don't kind of calm
Okay.
things down just a little bit.
Okay. Well, luckily, audience is still holding the guard spear that he pushed into that, so he's gonna do a hot disguise switch in the middle of the crowd.
Can I kind of assist by jostling people?
Okay, in what way?
Just like if, somebody, whoever's like right next to him, do a little bit of a bump into to maybe make him turn the other way for half a second.
Okay.
Well,
Just give the equivalent of a smoke bomb so that he can transform.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. In that case, you would be giving audience advantage on, well, sleight of hand. It would be the
Stealth?
equivalent.
I don't know. Sleight of hand stealth? Yeah. Okay.
Because you're essentially just trying to. Ah!
It's not great. It's not great, I'll be honest.
Ooh, 2
I
3s.
I rolled a 6, so some people probably definitely notice, but the question is, do they care?
All right. So here's
'Cause there's
one
the-
deal that may allow you to do. Fisher is the one trying to bump into people so that he gives you the possibility. So, because Fisher you're helping, I am willing to give you the ability to use your coin to give audience a third roll for this sleight of hand.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Make it count.
I see Fisher toss me a coin. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got you.
Now, actually, what happens is because since Fisher sees...
It doesn't matter. I rolled 3 3s in a row.
I flip it up in the air and it does that like dramatic like time slow thing, and everybody kind of just stares at it instead of audience because it does like the shine, in the air, and then
I actually rolled 3 3s. That's crazy.
Bruh, come on! I'm doing my best here.
It was so cinematic.
You know what I will do though? I'll try and separate myself because I'll realize that people are gonna notice. So even though I rolled terribly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into the gorge with the other guards so that I'm separated.
If I see him kind of blundering it, can I just cast invisibility on him?
Okay, I'll give you a dexterity saving throw. If you succeed it, then you manage to do this fast enough so that no one is the wiser.
Okay.
We're rolling our best stats, guys.
We're really trying here.
And I just used my coin. Thanks, audience.
You're welcome.
That's an out.
Well, technically, you would still get the invisibility off. People would just notice me turn invisible.
Which might be the spark that makes the guards start killing everybody.
Well, with a natural 1, dexterity saving throw to see if you have time with a natural 1. Probably what happens is that you extend your hand to cast the spell, and the audience just at that moment slides off the edge to try and go in, and as the spell is supposed to go
Wait, someone
off,
else?
you lose sight of him. Damn it! So there's a bunch of
Two
people
different
looking at
ideas.
you with your hand extended, casting a spell, and an audience just disappear.
So am I invisible, or am I down in the
No,
No.
you're not invincible. You're not invisible.
Oh, people just saw me disappear like over the edge. down
Yeah,
there.
yeah. You fell, and because he fell his dexterity save, he wasn't able to cast the spell before he
Okay.
lost sight of you.
Okay, so I'm just down in the pit, but I look like a guard now.
Okay.
But everybody kind of saw you transform into a guard.
Yeah, people now know I look like. People are like, okay.
Traitor.
Well, you told me what you rolled. Now the peasant need to roll to see if they saw.
Don't beat it.
Yeah.
Don't beat a 6.
They are mobbing. They're not probably paying that much attention.
Also, assuming I use the spell points.
The spell you couldn't cast the spell, so you didn't use it.
Okay.
No, you're just awkwardly standing there with your hand out, and audience
Yeah.
is disappeared.
I super casually scratched my head.
Yeah, you went with the really awkward thing of, where did he go? All right, so a grand total of 6. You said you rolled for your.
It's 3 6s, so it equals 18, right?
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
Yeah, sure,
I rolled a-
sure.
That's how advantage works. You add the you
Yeah,
roll it and add
absolutely.
it.
Yeah, no, it's a 6. it's a 6.
So,
I knew we were rolling too well this episode.
I.
Yeah.
And all okay.
I love how
Be too
I
close
got
to
the
the
nat
sun.
20 to clock what was happening, and then everything after that was just.
You're
Well,
always
no,
a
I
second
mean we've
behind.
also
But
got
try to-
the doors open and everything.
Yeah, no, but like everything after I rolled that natural 20 to realize that stuff
Oh,
was
yeah.
about to go to shit, everything we tried to do to prevent that was terrible.
It was terrible.
It's that hyper vigilant state. It messes with your concentration. So, why did I?
I'd almost say with how bad I rolled, my hat comes off, I turn into audience again briefly, and then put it back on and turn into a guard.
So I did exactly what I did always. 3 roll to see how the entire crowd reacted. 1 roll is a 5. 1 roll is a
Okay.
3.
Okay.
1 roll is an actual 20. So.
So 1/3 of the crowd basically sees me. The rest
Yeah,
have no idea.
there's a group of people that actually saw you falling and then grab your hat with one spear in hand and then hit the bottom and then turn into a guard. So now you have a whole bunch of people who are extremely confused at what's happening. You got the guards that are not confused anymore. And a whole bunch of people that are just yelling and screaming and trying to push forward.
Okay. Well, the main thing is to keep the people safe. So the peasants I care less about. The group, I mean, they'll probably just keep following the crowd as long as I calm the guards. I care more about the guards not killing the peasants. So even though it was kind of a blunder, audience is going to try and shout out to the other guards now that he looks like a guard. Calm, remember, there are people. Do not spark the violence with violence. Do not keep the violence. Escort them. Make sure that the nobles stay safe. But please Please do not attack anyone. I'll roll persuasion on that.
With
Maybe I'll roll
disadvantage
well.
because some people saw you.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Hmm.
All right, those were decent. I rolled a 12
There you
and
go.
11, so there's a 22 is my lowest one.
There's a 22. That's my lowest one. So even though there is a high degree of confusion, which makes it really difficult for you, audience, to get some traction in what you're saying, because some guards saw what happened, some peasants saw what happened. There's confusion. They're not sure about what they saw, but there's just this level of sincerity in your voice, this commanding presence that booms out, and you call for restraint from the guards, and it kind of works, but also not completely. There is no explosion, in the sense that arrows don't suddenly start raining down on everyone. And the guards stop looking at one another, and although they're nervous, they get back into formation. However, you do hear someone scream for reinforcement. And immediately you hear this and your eyes slowly turn toward two gigantic machines that have come to life. Machine in knightly armor, very similar to those you saw 1,500 years ago, but, version 501.
Mm-hmm.
And they've started moving. Although they're not firing. But they have weapon drawn and shield the size of boat armor plating.
From the other side of the gate, or from the
machines
side
are
we were-
on the other side of the gate. They're reinforcing the gate.
Okay. How many people are already through the gate?
They're trying to push through. So right at the gate, too late for the doors to close. You maybe only have 15 people there. The rest of this mob, the bulk of it has managed to get through the drawbridge. So if they pull it up, you'd still have maybe 100 people following you. But there's still maybe a third of the group that is on the other side of the drawbridge. So if they manage to close just the gates, you'd be left with a dozen people. If they only manage to close the drawbridge, you'd have half of your mob still following you. And if they don't close anything, well, there's 200 people trying to push through.
And that's
Okay.
what the spider webbing is for. So that Rainy doesn't have to make a check.
Okay. Audience is gonna stay as a guard, because I feels like it's a better place to be as a guard right now than a
Mm-hmm.
commoner. And I'm gonna kind of try and move near Fisher so I can talk to him, but also not like. And I'm gonna be like, try and get us through the gate. So if they close, and if worse comes to worse, we can stealth out and keep going through the city while they're dealing with the mob.
Okay.
I can just make us both invisible right now.
Well, I want to stay as a guard because I actually think it'll be
Okay.
useful to stay as a guard.
We say this as we're like wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
We're doing, and basically, yes. I want you guys to get through. Make Jorg, if anything, or Jorg can turn into an animal, one of the two. But just like get
And George
us
is
through
there
the game.
too.
Or Jorg can turn into a mouse or something, whatever he wants. But I know Remy's already on the other side of the gate, so basically, I'm just gonna try and get us through the gate, and then if they stop the mob, then we'll just use the
I
distraction.
could
of the
wind
mob.
walk us through the gate.
I don't think we need
That
to use
takes
Windwalk.
too long. Yes.
I don't think we need Windwalk. I
Yeah.
think we're fine.
So basically, Fisher, you look at Jorg and you transform into a beast, or do I turn you invisible?
I'll
That's basically-
I'll turn into a beast. I'll just pop into a little mouse and skitter through the
You are
crowd.
Immediately
aware
get
that there's
trampled,
sleep
have to turn
falling
back.
right now.
I was like, you might
And
want to
what?
jump into you might want to jump into my pockets or something, so you don't get crushed. I
Yeah,
can
I'll
take
do
you if you
that.
want.
Yeah, take
Just,
me.
I don't know if Jorg has pockets. Oh, not Jorg. Fisher. I don't know if Fisher has pockets.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Fisher
have
has a
pockets.
chest
No, I have
cavity.
pockets.
Yeah.
Pockets. All right, you can go to either one of us then, whichever one you want.
No, I don't like pockets. They
Oh god, you guys are
disrupt
both
the
like,
look of my hips.
Jorg, trying to like compete for my attention. And I'm like, which one do I go to?
Meanwhile, Rainy on the other side,
Who does the
completely
dog like more?
not knowing about this, is just like, I don't see the appeal.
So he just, starts casually weaving silk around the lever so that it stays in position and doesn't have to
Yeah.
work as hard as he did to keep everything open. Okay.
So now a second person
How-
disappears.
So I guess to make sure that everything doesn't go weird, Jorg, you'd probably be the one facing
Like-
the decision. You see audience turning around and extending a hand to you to help you in some way. And then on the other side, you see Fisher, who is looking at you, saying, "Come on, do something. I'm gonna," and you see that he's. I know you said you were gonna make yourself invisible, Fisher.
Yeah, if he didn't.
So you see him in the first phase of casting a spell. So now you have to choose.
I mean, if
Transform
he's
into
already
a creature and
Okay.
go with audience, or go toward Fisher.
I'm gonna go into a creature and go to audience.
Damn, Fisher. You've just been left,
Sorry, Fisher.
left there out in the cold. Quite literally.
I'm just trying to help, and everybody's just doing their own thing. It's like they don't need me anymore. I just slink off in the crowd, all sad, and leave everybody else to do their own thing.
Is Fisher obsolete?
Well, he's all chromed.
All right. Audience is gonna also make his way through the gate.
I got a paint job and everything.
Audience will also make its way through the gate, like with some of the other guards, so he's on the other side of the gate.
Okay.
Now I just need Fisher to make his way through the gate somehow.
Well,
Well,
Fisher's
Fisher, you haven't
invisible.
updated to the next version of Chrome.
Yeah.
And we'll see how many of the people make it through.
All right. You push forward. They push forward, and you try and get Jorg on the other side of the guard, so you try and go behind them.
Well, I'm a guard. I try and basically, because I told all the other guards to try and
Retreat.
escort them and like push. So I'm hoping that the guards are just following. So I'm basically walking through the gate with my kind of spear pointed out, but like also just trying to like be like I'm not gonna hurt anybody, but I'm just like keeping at the ready.
Okay, so essentially you're sort of trying to put yourself as if you were a representative of the population.
No, I'm a guard. No, I'm pretending to be a guard.
He's trying to be a guard that's like retreating back through the gate.
retreating back through the gate to
Okay,
escort the
okay,
people
okay,
as they push through the gate. Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the gate and you go toward the other guards. Go, because they're information, so it would be slightly weird if you just weren't information also.
Yeah.
You do
Well,
notice...
worse because I fell into the pit, so it looks like I came up from falling in the pit.
Yeah. No, because of that, a lot of people don't question too much, but you do notice that some guard are looking at you funny, and you get the impression that they're trying to analyze the situation because they don't recognize you.
That's fair.
That's because there were failures in all the rolls.
Hey, did Jim retire?
Yeah.
Can I roll a performance roll to see how well I'm performing as a guard? See if I can persuade them that I'm one of their members.
Yes. And because it is something that you are accustomed to, I'll let you roll with advantage because it's a martial element.
Okay, I got a 22.
Except for a few rolls that were really low. Generally, it's 20, 21, 22.
Well, to be fair, my performance is a lot less than my persuasion. That one was a better roll. I got a 15 on the die.
So, yeah, you manage to integrate the ranks, and it does ease up a few of them, seeing that you seem to be acting how you're supposed to be acting. But you get the impression that right now they're not arguing, they're not trying to figure out what's happening because it's a tense situation. But the moment that things are going to start calming down, you're going to be faced with awkward explanations.
Fair enough.
All right, so you fall in rank. Remy, from where you are, you can probably see that one guard that looks, a bit like something you made him look like before. And you know by heart how audience moves. So it's a human that moves like audience.
I mean, there's also the fact that, if I recall correctly, the Hat of Disguise has a DC 13 for the requisite investigation. And
So-
I think Raimi literally has... No, even if he rolls a natural 1 on that check, he can see through it.
Well, technically, just because
There's
they
also-
say that natural ones are always failure, so the moment you roll a 2, but yeah, no, definitely.
Oh, no, I see. I can't roll lower though. It's like even my natural 1s turn to a 10. So if you really want to get down
it's
to it,
against my spell save DCs, which is
well, no, it's
15. That's what the item says at least.
it says your spell save DC.
Yeah.
I thought it said 13. It's whatever though.
Did I close the book?
Same diff.
Yeah, no. For you, it doesn't matter. For other people, it might. So.
No, definitely for you, it's the difference is minimal.
I mean, I think there's also maybe just the fact that presumably the guard that you are posing as is a little bit smaller than you. So as you're like moving through the crowd, like people are bumping in against something that shouldn't be. It's like, oh, must have tripped.
So, because of how perceptive you are, you look at this guard and, it sort of feels like you see the illusion of the guard in sort of a transparency mode, and you see an audience under it. So, you are pretty sure that audience got through. You don't know where Jorg is, but you barely care about that one. You care because he's a member of the group, but that's all. It's a work friend. It's not an actual friend.
A coworker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fisher, how do you try to cross all of that?
Their formation is tight enough, I'm assuming, that if I were to just go invisible, I would still have to like push through. Correct?
Yes. However, they would not be expecting, and you might have an opportunity to try and just slide between a small gap, because they're in formation, trying to prevent anyone from going in, but they're also reacting to people moving closer. Since if you're invisible, they wouldn't be reacting to you. You might actually see an opportunity to slide through.
Also, if you go to where audience is information, I can make it easier for you.
Second question.
Yep.
Can I on the other side of the gate, within 90 feet of where I am, is there like the entrance to an alley or something I could appear in or quickly step into that
So
nobody on the other side would see? Or,
Yeah.
90, 120, up to 150 feet. I didn't realize you can upcast Vortex Warp to increase the distance.
Okay. 100.
Well, it wasn't that long ago when you got third level spells, so it hasn't really been relevant.
Yeah.
All right. 120 or 150, you said?
It says plus 30 for each level above second, so a fourth would be 150.
Okay.
Base is 90.
Okay.
No,
so,
one. Yeah. Yeah, 150.
I mean, it would be... It would be a bit hard, because you'd essentially need to transport all the way to the other side and try to get an alley. And there's the length of the gate, there's the road, and then you have to get to between buildings. I'd say the risk is if someone is actively paying attention, so a high roll, they'd notice that you appeared in front of the alley and not inside of the alley. But if not, then you'd be able to do this close enough that it would look like you're exiting an alley. So it's that close, the distance. It's a risk. And the risk would be stealth.
Yeah. Which I have a +0 to. Flat roll.
It's a risk.
Yeah, but I'm assuming trying to slip through while invisible would also be stealth.
Thing is, if you try and move through while invisible, you'd get a chance, but there are a lot of factors. So
Yeah.
if you
I
decide,
think I'm just gonna vortex warp,
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
and if I
Trying
get
trying to sneak through would sort of be at disadvantage, while if you're just trying to on the other side, I'll let you roll without disadvantage.
okay,
Just wait, hold on. You're gonna vortex warp whom?
me.
Vortex warp,
Uh,
unless I misremember.
it is only another target, isn't it? That's annoying.
But I thought you already had Misty Step anyway.
I have Misty Step. Misty Step is only 30 feet. Yeah. And 30 feet I'm assuming would not give me far enough.
Again, so what you're trying to do would provoke multiple roll. The vortex would have allowed you to only do one roll, but if you can't do that, then it's going to be several roll. One being finding a way to get through, and then trying to get through without being seen. If you use Misty Step, you'd be able to skip the roll to allow you to find a hole. That moment of, okay, now I can go. But you'd have very short range, meaning that there is an element of uncertainty because you essentially be misty stepping blind to what is on the other side that you can hide under or beneath to make it look like you're coming out of something and not just poof, I am here.
I do need to see where I'm Misty Stepping.
No. What I mean is when you'd reappear on the other side, because you
It'd be
wouldn't
like
be
a
able to
blind
see
corner,
what's
I know.
there, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know. You can't prepare for what you're gonna do once you reappear because you can't see what's there.
Quick question:
Yes.
Is the would Raimi's lever securing be finished by this point?
12-second.
Avery's gotta go to bed.
Okay. Well, you're inside of audience's close,
Yeah.
so I think that's okay. I think we're gonna stop
All right.
the moment that we
As
figure
soon
out
as
how we get
You
everyone
figure out
out.
how I get through this gate.
I have an
Alright.
idea. I just need to know if Raimi is
So
settled or not.
hold on. You did that, and then the gate opened, and then everyone pushed through. Audience did that. You did that. Yeah, it gives you enough time to at least have finished. Bye, George. Oh yeah, that's right. It changes
It
the
messes up everybody's.
Yep.
the camera. Hold on.
Because basically, because Fisher hasn't decided to become invisible yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. Because what I'm thinking Raimi could do
I'm
is
just
if he
thinking at 1,000 miles a second.
It's like if Raimi peeks over the wall and see that Fisher is still on the other side, and probably realizing the conundrum as there's a bunch of people crowding around the entrance to the gate. So Raimi is going to, after he has attached or after he's fully dealt with the silk, it's like he's actually going to pop over to the top of the wall again. It's like he's going to wrap some silk around that, fly over to Fisher, and put the silk in his hands.
To give him a rope to climb?
Yep. If he's already attached a rope to the top of the wall, which should be easy enough because he's using spider silk, then he can just climb the way that nobody else is entering the city. He doesn't have to weave around anybody because he can just climb over.
That was kind of gonna be my next question, was what does the top of the wall look like? Because I was just gonna cast fly.
In terms of height?
Yeah, or in terms of guards up there.
Well,
If you're invisible,
because-
it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if I'm invisible, I can climb. I can't invisible and fly. So that's a good.
You can't be sure. You can see that there are a lot of guards and archers. The wall is roughly 65 feet high. You can't see all there are. You see that there are archers there looking at the crowd, which means there's probably more, but it's not they're not under siege, so probably not 200 people over there.
The main thing, it's significantly less crowded, and if you're invisible, combined with the fact that I think you're wearing boots of elvenkind, so your steps don't make a sound. Really, the only way you could get caught is if you bump into somebody.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah,
called
I think
natural
if,
one.
I'll cast invisibility and take
Alright.
the route offered to me by the one that knows how to be sneaky.
All right, so out of nowhere, you sort of have that moment where, and you're quickly evaluating.
Overthinking.
Yeah, can I teleport there? No, I can't use that spell. All right, there, but I can't see what's there. And you're looking up, you're looking down, you're looking at the audience, who just seems to be looking at you. Come on, decide, do something. And then suddenly you feel something silky falling into your hand.
You're overthinking it, Remy.
Also, with the Vortex Warp, that is something I have to cast through Terranad. So I go to have Terranad cast it, and then he's like, you can't cast that on yourself. And I'm like, damn it.
Idiot.
Are you dumb or something? Did you read the scroll before learning it? You can't cast it on yourself.
I didn't learn it, you did.
Well, that still means you at least had to read. You know, the thing you do with letters and books? And then you feel silk fall into your hand, so you don't have to continue that argument. You have to make a new decision.
There we go. And then I will cast invisibility and climb the rope.
All right. All of your chromed glory goes invisible. And, well, I'll still make you do an athletic roll, because you're climbing. But that's supposed to be easy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
The kids are okay.
you manage to get up. You find yourself on top of the wall. You know, there's a brief moment where you're slightly nervous, but you see that the archers are... there's a lot of distance between each of them. So, like I said, so long as you don't roll a natural one on your stealth roll, no one should be the wiser.
Yeah.
Because you're
Easy.
invisible, you have time to prepare, you just have to not slip in the freezing rain.
Okay, we're good. 13.
And you didn't roll a natural one, so you're okay. You don't slip in the freezing rain.
Or actually, not that. I don't sweat. I don't need to.
Well, it's the rain dripping off
Yeah,
your forehead.
yeah.
You know, it's annoying. It just
I don't
falls
have
into your
eyebrows, So
Yeah. It's a modification that you need to have made.
it's not like physically annoying. It's just it makes the lens kind of
Foggy.
weird. Yeah, like you look you're like a raindrop on a window.
Yeah. So you managed to go through. Well, you probably have to work just a little bit more than the others because you got to go to a stair going down from the wall and then walking back to where audience is. Audience, you don't see Fisher anymore.
I almost just jump off the other side and then remember I didn't prepare Featherfall today, and that would make me not invisible anymore. And then I'm like, nope, stairs. Go find those stairs.
You're there.
Stairs.
You're
Stairs
there.
are good.
You're just about to step off the edge, and you hear Terranad go, "Did you forget to activate your brain today?" Oh. You know that thing that's inside of your head that the nice medic said that when you have a concussion it just rattles inside? And since you're stealthed, invisible, and you can't be seen, then you have to hear him tell you
I can't
about...
talk back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got
You
me.
can't tell
got
him
me
to
cornered.
shut up as you're going down the stair and hearing him just underline and underline and underline how stupid you've been for the past minute and a half. And then you find yourself in an alley, looking at audience's back. So, with the guards shouting their orders, you can drop the invisibility and say, "Shut up!"
I will just, from the cover of an alley, just drop my invisibility and cast a message to audience that I am through in the alley behind him, and then I will also send a message to Remy thanking him for the rope and that I'm done using it.
It's a good thing that you don't have to see the person because I'm gonna send a message to audience. Damn it! Which one it is? Which one is it? Well, no, you don't have to see him because you can do this while someone is in another room. So
yeah. They just need to be in range.
Yeah. So audience, you
And
get the
Rainey's
message.
just dabbing.
Dude.
Audience, you get the message from Fisher saying, "I'm in."
Nice.
Hacker voice. I'm in.
Okay. I'm in. All
I
right.
did.
Well, since the guards are distracted with the mob, or audience will wait till a moment that the guards are distracted with the mob, he'll try and kind of fall back from the formation.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna whisper to my Barca, Jorg, cast Pass Without a Trace on us. We're gonna try and slip away.
I'm
You
still
can't do
gonna
that
have
in
you
the mouth.
do a performance roll because
Oh,
there are
sure.
some people that are worried
Sure.
of your actions lately.
Sure.
So to do this without drawing attention.
Sure. It's a 14.
Hey, Greg's been acting kind of sus.
Yeah, so basically you have a choice. You can either stealth, try and break away without people seeing you, or trying to break away while making it
with the
look like...
performance. I'll start with a performance because that's easier to come back from if they do notice me.
Okay. And your roll is?
14.
14? Well, I roll a 1, a 5, and a 3, so... You manage to play it perfectly. You are pulling away as if you weren't needed on the front line, and you do not do the rookie mistake of the moment that you're away, just lifting your spear and start running away.
Nope.
You keep your calm. You help a guy to over there. The peasants are trying to break in, and then you keep going.
And then once I'm kind of out of eyesight of everyone, I will re-stealth. So I'll make my stealth.
I will say that Raimi will hold back until it seems like no more peasants are attempting to enter through the gate.
And my stealth check is 19.
Okay. Remy, well, this is an odd roll to make, but I think it kind of works. Because you decided to tie the lever. Well, what do you do with the lever? Do you leave it there and come back
That's
for a
that's the main reason why I'm staying behind, just to see if people are actually taking advantage of it still being open as this time has been passing. At least the time between when
they're gonna start. They're gonna keep pushing. What I was also wondering was, of course, the moment that you let it go, it becomes visible. But since it's completely covered in spiderweb, it doesn't blatantly become visible. I was gonna say you wove silk on top of it. And let's go with how a spider would do it, which would mean make a sleight of hand roll to see how you wove that thing so that it holds. And that's going to be the DC for them trying to break it by forcing the gates to close.
let's see. Shoot, what's my bonus again? Plus 13. Yeah, that's gonna be 31.
Pretty solid. All right. Because of the rain, because of their effort, when you come back, you start seeing that the webbing is starting to tear, but it's still there. It's losing its elasticity because of the cold, because of the ice forming on top of it. It's probably going to hold for another minute or so, but unless you try to reinforce it, it's going to break in a few minutes. The icy rain is not helping it. And with that, it's losing its strength because of the weather. The guards are slowly managing to tear it slightly. But they're as confused as everyone else. You know, the door doesn't want to close.
Okay, so it is tearing apart, but not because like the guards have found it.
No, because the weather is weakening it. So they.
Okay.
It's weakening.
I was making sure because you're using they, so I was a bit confused.
Okay,
but no, I'm understanding now.
What I mean is, what I meant was by pulling on their end to the wheel to close the gate, it's putting pressure on the other side on the lever, trying to go back to its normal position. And while your weaving is strong, it's slowly losing its integrity because of the weather. So it will last, but not more than a few more minutes.
All right. It's like I think Remy will hang by the lever up until the webbing breaks off, and then he'll just retrieve the lever and regroup with everyone else because they've sown the chaos they needed at the entrance, and then there are also people inside, so they're going to be very distracted in more than one location for the duration.
Okay.
So that's just going to help us in our endeavor.
You managed to witness at least another maybe 24 or so people managing to cross the threshold of the gates. So by the time that it starts breaking and that you can retrieve it, there are maybe between 30 to 40 peasants that manage to push their way inside of the last ring, and a whole bunch of them finding themselves stuck between the drawbridge and one portcullis. Maybe they're going to be able to force the gate open and more people are going to come in, but right now, as it is, it's more like 40 of them securely inside, 60 of them trying to push, trying to maintain the gate, push to be safe, and another 25 or so on the drawbridge trying to keep it from going up, trying to put as much weight on it, and another 50 people at the back end being very scared because they're looking at archers looking at them.
Yeah, so maybe we'll rely on numbers, and again, if nothing else, if people can't manage to actually get, or as many to get all the way through, they're causing enough of a distraction, a pull of resources that they won't be, say, looking for a small party of individuals snooping around.
All right. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually you all manage to gather up. And once again, Jorg takes back his shape. You're in.
Rami just appears out of nowhere.
With your wings still out, or did you all close them before reappearing?
He'll close them because he doesn't want to have like a bright, shiny light in the alleyway calling people's attention.
So it hurts slightly because you have to fold them back before reappearing, and you can't present your glorious new self to audience, but it is the most reasonable choice. So can you walk out your invisibility?
Rami wishes to be in the light, but he must once again return to darkness.
Yeah. All right. Well, you managed to get yourself 3/4 of the way there. You still need to get through one gate to get inside of the castle. Or, you're here. You can try and reassess your position.
Yep.
Try figure something new. There is the advantage that now audience has a clear idea of what the surrounding area looks like. The long way around the whole thing would be to teleport back out and in at roughly this position. Because
I don't think we need to. Yeah, I don't think we need to teleport out yet. I think we can get I did think about that about teleporting out once we have, but I think we can get more because we're not really in any danger yet.
For now, no. You are in the more respectable part of the city, the nobles, the wealthy merchants.
People who might actually have more information about where the tower was taken and all the other stuff.
Yeah. And so next episode, you start again. You make a riot with the nobles now.
I think we won't do a riot here. I think we'll more just...
There's this weird illness going through the city. It's creating riots everywhere it goes.
Listen, there's a reason that I was banned from this city. They should never have let me back.
Yeah.
They didn't.
It's true.
All right. Well, the audience is not helping his reputation inside of this city. So,
He's not hurting it either, because it's not him. It's
Technically,
random disguised person's reputation.
it's Bob,
Yeah.
who came back from retirement.
I'm gonna come back and say there's gonna be wanted posters for like Bob, the character.
Yeah.
It's your next character for next campaign. It's Bob.
It's just gonna be there's just gonna be this wanted. They're gonna be like, yeah, this guy just showed up and started like causing riots in the city. Like,
Damn, wild. Who would do that?
who would do that?
Absolutely atrocious. All right. So with this, one of our longer running session, not the longest. We've had one session that lasted another 25 minutes than what we got right now. One or two, I'm not sure. All right, so campfire is not that. That campfire. It's always nice ending on a campfire. All right, well, with this, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a pleasant, whatever part of the day it is, wherever you are in the world. To answer, I'm pretty sure it's someone that was trying to get me to follow them, or I don't know. We're gonna see in a few days if the name still exists. Because the last 3 person that said your stream is awesome, I wanna I wanna make me a friend on Discord. You know, every single time, 2 or 3 days later, it says that unknown user has become a friend. But to answer the question, unless it was real, schedule Wednesday live campaign, 7:30 Western Coast time. Friday rebroadcast of this, 7:30 Eastern Coast time. And in between, you got a map making, world building stream using either WonderDraft or Canvas of Kings at 9:30 Eastern Coast time. That is the schedule for now. Yeah, that's everything that I could say about that. So, if you want to support us in any way, you can do so in multiple ways because we are on multiple platforms. We got Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, X, YouTube, Patreon, so you can leave likes, comments, become Patreon, subscribe, and there's even a link below the window for if you want to make donations. And if you want to do more, or if you can't do any of this and you still want to do something, just spread the word of the channel. It helps, I promise. And I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. See you next week. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.